Well, it's been a wild couple of days, few days now, 3 days. Been an interesting little ride here. For those that don't know, I had a video that, well, let's walk through this. I had a video that I made, seemed somewhat insignificant, and I posted it, and a community got behind it, and then the content of the video reached the people that are mentioned in the video. And so I've had a little bit of a spike in viewers to the channel. I've had a little spike in subscribers to the channel, and I've had a lot of interest in that particular video. And the channel that the video is specifically about reacted to the video on their podcast. So what I want to do on this stream is react live to their reacting to my video, if that makes sense. I did make a short, hey, there's a fly in here, get him out of there. I did make a short react video sort of to woke up from a strange dream. The dream included me working for the H3 podcast. Now, the thing there is, I wasn't working on the podcast. I was working in a restaurant that they ran. And, well, little heads up, they don't run a restaurant. They're a podcast. And it was very specific about the focaccia I was making in this restaurant. There was also mention of me having to go to pick up my son. Okay. I don't have any kids that I know about. There's any telling what could have happened there back in the mid-90s, but as far as I'm aware, I don't have kids. Anyway, it's just a dream. I tell it to the camera matter-of-factly, and then we continued on that road trip. And 5 months later, when I finally got around to editing all this content together, I put that video on YouTube. And of course, the H3 family, as the community is known, or Fupa Troopers, they all rallied behind it. And before I knew what was going on, the comments were popping. This is the only time in my YouTube career that I've ever had a video with no dislikes. Well, there might be some dislikes now. I don't think there is. No dislikes and no, there definitely will be now, but beforehand, before I open my big fat mouth, no dislikes and comments. All of the comments were positive. And that's before the H3 podcast watched it on their thing. This is just this is the second time that YouTube, the algorithm has worked in my favor. The second time. The first time was that snorkel mask review. I don't know what went on there, but my channel went from not even being a channel to jacked up in like matter of weeks. My subscriber count went from virtually nothing. I think I just got to 1,000 subs, and then I went straight up to like 17,000 because of that snorkel mask. So something about YouTube in 2015 was a bit different, because I've tried to emulate that since then, and I've never got, I mean, I've got a couple of 100,000, few 700,000, but I've never quite got the million view count on a video. And my channel seems to get forever lost and forgotten about. So when this popped off, I was quite amazed by it, to be completely frank. Let's watch my video in case you haven't seen it. It's all of 48 seconds long. It's called I Dreamt I Worked for the H3 Podcast Restaurant ? Can we make it full screen?
It's a beautiful cold morning, and I've just woken up from a strange dream. I was working for H3 podcast, but not in the podcast world. They'd opened up a restaurant. It was a lunchtime restaurant. They just did a lunch menu. I was making focaccias. What were they? They were camembert and cranberry. Camembert cheese with cranberry and roasted chicken and cos lettuce on a focaccia loaf. And it was awesome. And I had to pick up my son I don't have a son. My son who was staying at their house while we were working. What the hell? Strange dreams. Now back to reality. I'm going to stick around in bed for a while until this warms up because it is cold out there.
And that's it. That's all you got. Just a little, hey, keep it down. That's all that was. Just a little interlude into my strange dream. Watching it back that time, I feel like I could dissect it even further. I think that the idea of having to pick up my son is because the H3 podcast, Ethan and Ela Klein, have had 3 sons. So maybe that was in the back of my mind. I've got a son and they've got 3, kind of, I don't know. The roasted chicken camembert cheese. Who did that over on YouTube? Yo, thanks, Schmoopity. Schmoopity. Thanks for subbing over on YouTube. No, you Schmoopity. No, you Schmoopity. Schmoopity. Come over here. So yeah, there was what was it? Roasted chicken, camembert cheese, cranberry, cos lettuce on a focaccia loaf. I feel like dude, I wish I could find this, but I used to work in a long time ago in a state far from New South Wales. I used to work in a restaurant in Perth, in Western Australia, in Freo, and there was something similar to that. It was called the house focaccia. I don't think it had cranberry. It had avocado. Sub the cranberry for avocado, and you got a house focaccia from Sandrino Cafe. If anybody knows Sandrino Cafe on Market Street in Freo, and you can find a menu from 1997. I was going to say 3. That's not right. 1997 or 98. Find me the menu for the cafe, Sandrino Cafe. Anyway, I want to show you now the reaction from the H3 podcast. Oh, you know what I want to do before we do that? I want to show you the freaking comments on this video. I want to show you this. Check this out. This is amazing. So this has had 1.4 thousand views, which is a big number for me, right? 1,500. That's big for me. I pinned this comment from Lawrence McCabe. This once again confirms my theory of H3 fans on the regular being cool, attractive people who in fact touch grass. What a lovely comment. Thank you, Lauren. This person, Dan, having flashbacks about working on the podcast. Dan having flashbacks. Are you suggesting I look like Dan? I mean, not really. We're both sort of tall-ish, lanky-ish. Yo, Hexy over on YouTube. How you doing, man? One Hexy mofo. How you doing, buddy? I don't think I look like Dan, but I can see that we're both human at that point. I hope the crew finds this. They did. This is incredibly random, but I'm here for it. I love that kind of comment. I love that this showed up on my feed naturally. That is such a nice... This is very niche. I'm here for it. This is so cute. Peace and love. Peace and love. I'm an H3 fan too, and congratulations on your YouTube channel and continue to grow. Bro was ready for a button moment. This is strange. I'm a longtime member and a fan of the H3 podcast. I never make comments or engage, but this came up on my recommended a couple of days after having a very vivid, memorable dream of working and interacting with the H3 coffee shop. That's bizarre. Seems like Ethan has been traveling in the astral realm to strengthen the bond of the foot soldiers. Peace and love. So he says there has to be a pizza with jalapenos, pineapple, and olives. That's a running joke. That's Ethan's favorite pizza. I've not had that. Jalapenos, pineapple, and olives. I mean, that would be... I could get down with that. Does he have a sauce on that? Is there a red sauce, or is it just straight up pizza base, jalapeno, pineapple, and olives? I could get down with that. Look what they're doing to this. Look what they're doing to this guy's dreams, bro. They're serving this to us at the H3 restaurant. That's another in joke. This is the most random shit that's ever appeared on my homepage, and I love it. Jordan Pike, man. Jordan, you guys remember Jordan? An American vlogger that came and stayed with me for a while back in 100,000 million years ago. He says, I didn't know you were an H3 fan, Benon. Awesome crossover while making my morning oatmeal. Hope you're doing awesome. That's cool, man. Stoked to see Jordan Pike. Why don't you start uploading again, dude? How long? Let me just check Jordan's channel, dude. If you haven't uploaded in the last 2 years, videos, 3 years ago, hold on a second, videos most recent, 3 years ago, dude, come on, man. Let's get your shit together, Jordan. Stop commenting on YouTubes and start making YouTubes. Thanks for sharing. I've been having dreams like this too. Are you in the NT? Looks amazing. Fellow H3 fan from Cairns. Look at those Jay Shetty eyes. Now, just for those that don't know, take a look at this man's eyes, dude. Are you suggesting I have eyes like that? I mean, far out. You can get lost in those eyes. Crikey. First of all, my eyes are blue, but he does have lovely eyes. It's another running in gag. Papa Esteban, that's another running. A lot of this is in gags, right? Like you got to be in the crew or in the know. A magical restaurant that sells Spanish food and pizza. Just one kind of pizza. Sam Cedar is your surprise greeter. They sell sodies in a bag. That's all in jokes. I'm not going to bother unraveling them. You've got to start watching the H3 podcast, or H3 show these days it's called, even though the channel's still called the H3 podcast. Laugh my ass off. I love that you shared this. Also, damn, what a view. Yeah, fully. Neil Hargrave, look out. It's a cracking spot. This person says, cracks me up, so detailed. I really needed this. I love you. I followed you for so long. This is a wild crossover. This is obviously after the H3 podcast got wind of it. Sounds like you're working in California Pizza Kitchen. Has Dan ever mentioned he worked there? Family. I love it. Thank you for sharing. Also had a dream I work for the H3. I have a friend who has as well. Sounds like a damn good sandwich. I love an H3 restaurant. This is what happens when you watch the Thanksgiving special before bedtime. This was meant to find me, and for that I'm grateful. What these kind of comments where people are saying this just came to my feed and I'm forever thankful. That really stokes me. This is so funny. AI does not have the originality to create a story or a video like this. This person's gone, what? Would have been accurate if you said there was pesto. Ooh, another in-joke. Shit. I love that this is so random. Family. AB's burrito special today. Only need to tip 5%. I can't remember the joke about the tips. I can't remember. By the way, can I just stop for a second and say this? If the H3 podcast did open a restaurant, I reckon they should be, get ready for this, America, just bear with me, but I reckon they should be the first employer in food and beverage or in the hospitality industry to pay their workers a decent wage and get rid of tipping. We don't tip in Australia, right? Not a lot of countries do tip. America does tip, and we're very well aware of that. However, you don't have to. You know, they say that, oh, it's because the workers don't earn enough, you know. Then fucking start paying the workers a decent wage. Where did it ever become, yo, Netsky, how you doing over on Kick? Where did it ever become a thing that you can get away with paying only in this one industry, only in hospitality can you just pay absolutely nothing to the workers?
Hello there.
Hello there, Toothboy. Yeah, where did that ever come from? Like that doesn't seem fair, right? It's only that industry. So imagine if H3 said, we're going to open a restaurant and we're going to pay our staff, the chef, we're going to pay the... Dude, you scared the shit out of me. For those that are new here, that lightning strike, not the graphic, but the sound, that is a lightning strike that almost killed me. I had a dash cam footage of me getting virtually struck by lightning, and that is the audio from it. And don't do it again, Netskis, because it scares me every time. Yeah, imagine they did that. They opened up a restaurant and they said, we're going to pay the actual wage, and then any customer that comes in, there'll be big signs up saying, no tip required. Now, of course, you can still tip if you feel you want to, but don't ever think that you're tipping because we pay our workers so lousy, you know? If I had any say in it, which I don't, that's what I'd do. But I don't, so I won't. The girlie sent me to show love. Nice. Yo, who did that? Lucy.
Wow.
Lucille.
Therein lies the joy.
Lucille over on Kick. Thanks for following. Your dream will come true one day. I hope so. I'm hungry now. If you dreamt it, it can happen. Looking forward to trying your lunch special in the future. Safe travels, my friend. Fakasha sounds epic. Love this story time. Looking forward to your 1 minute pitch. I'll explain that moment in a little while. Family. You're awesome and you're a foot soldier. You just got yourself a new sub. Thank you, Hippie Vibes with 13. This is so excellent. Family. We need a pitch under a minute long. Floka. Based. Love heart. Sounds so good. This is so strange to see not a single negative comment. And I haven't deleted anything. I've not deleted anything. This is just absolute family love from the H3 crew. From the H3, I keep saying crew. When I say crew, I mean the people that watch. I don't mean the crew on the show, but they're also rad. But Hexy Mofo, in Costa Rica, they automatically add a tip to your bill. Then we won't open a restaurant in Costa Rica, will we? Sounds delicious. I kind of hope you get the job. Camping in southern Utah? Question mark. Can I bring you a beer? My wife wants me to. Give her some space. I'll take a beer from you. Swing it my way. Laugh my ass. This is gold. Family. The new Tom Ward. Interesting, but he's still there. Tom Ward's not gone, has he? This is beautiful. We all do. Smiley face. This person said, thank you for sharing your dreams with the family. So my point there is that, like I said, yo, Lucille, Jim and Coke or Jack and Coke? Ooh, Jack and Coke, 100%, dude. Jim Beam, but it's up to you. My point there is that there is nothing negative on that video. Let's take a look at the likes. Oh, I'm in Firefox. I can't see dislikes. 302 likes. The love coming from that is insane. So what I want to do now, for those that haven't seen it, I'm going to be playing the H3 podcast when they caught onto this video, because this originally got fed through the YouTube algorithm, and I believe it wound up on AB, one of the actual staff, one of the actual crew on the show. It came onto his feed, so he watched it, and I guess he brought it to the show. We're going to watch that. But just because I love surfing and I love sharing surfing, I've got a little clip here of today's surf, and I'm going to use this time to run out and grab myself a coffee so that when we come back, we can engage this. If you don't want to see any surfing from Australia, I understand. Go to the bathroom, powder your nose, whatever it is you need to do for 6 minutes. If I'm not back in time, the surfing clip will finish and you will see a blowfly doing aerobics on a piece of styrofoam. I'm not kidding, you'll see that. See you soon. Are there any surfers in the H3 family? I'm pretty fortunate. Oh, hold on a second. Ooh. Yeah, I'm super lucky because I can walk out my backyard and just check the surf conditions. I get out most days, shoot a little content, have a little fun.
But they hadn't updated the process, so I hadn't heard the change.
That's hands-on.
But you see, it's a collar up, a chicken, a pop, Companies companies and a call in the save of the shaping.
Hey, Comtech, thank you for the sub, dude, over on Kick Machine. Appreciate that, Comtech. Was that a 3-month sub? I feel like it was quite a lengthy alert there. Haven't heard that for a long time. Crystal Rose, that looks amazing. Thank you. Very stoked to be able to surf on the daily. My beach is just right out here. For those that weren't aware, I'm on the east coast of Australia. Get the luxury of just walking out my door and checking the swell. And if it's good, I'll go surfing. If not, I won't. Yo, Dragon over on the Twitch machine. I'll be over on Kick. No worries, man. Cool. Comtech, are you up for a call in on crypto? Possibly not today. This is taking precedence. What's just happened for me in the last 2 days, Comtech. I might have to just hold that off just because of this content. Yeah, might have to put a holder on that for a little while. Lucille asks, what's my favorite whiskey other than Jack Daniels? So if I drink whiskey that's not Jack, I've got this here, which is from Callington Mill. It's a distillery in Tasmania on the bottom part of Australia, a little island off the south of Australia. Now, I haven't had this yet, but I've had something else of theirs, and it was absolutely fantastic. So I'm hoping this is a single malt. I'm hoping this is, and it's a Christmas special my sister got me. I'm hoping this is going to be wonderful. But aside from whiskeys, I like rum. So if I'm not drinking whiskey, I'll drink rum, and I probably lean towards the spiced rums, Krakens and Sailor Jerry, I guess, more so than. But if I don't go spiced rums, I'll go like something like Appleton Estate or like Mount Gay, some of those style. Yeah. But anyway, let's move on to, this is the H3 podcast reacting to the video we just played before. Now, this is from 2 days ago. So, like I said, the video was served natively to random people, which the connection obviously being the H3 podcast. And then it was served to AB, one of the staff members, and that's how he brought it to the show. So they reacted, and let's. Who did that? Rob Mack. Hey, Rob Mack with a donation.
Rob Mack 7,733 donated $5 towards the Jack Behind Me fund. Thanks. What's that floatin' in the water? Oh, Neptune's only daughter.
What's that floating in the water? Neptune's only daughter. That's the Pixies. I believe in Mr. Greaves. Do you have another opinion? Do you have another opinion? That's been a while, dude. We used to have, that's a donation that goes towards the Jack Daniels Behind Me. And whenever Rob Mack does this, he would often put a lyric from a song from a band, and I've got to try to decipher it. And yeah, that's the Pixies, Mr. Greaves from Trompe Le Monde. I think it's from Trompe Le Monde. If not, Surfer Rosa. I'm thinking Surfer Rosa now. I think it's on Surfer Rosa. Grahimi, nice stream. Thank you, man. How you doing over on Kick? Comtex said no probs. G'day, Mac. G'day, Gibbs. Yo, Rob Mac. Good to see you, dude. Good to see you. So yeah, let's embrace this H3 reacting to my video there. Make it full screen. Make it full screen.
You guys know it's hard for me. It's fun for me. It's hard for me to skip. I did just release this morning an H3, or not an H3 video, an Ethan Klein video that it seems to be doing well. I haven't really checked on it, but just so you guys know it's there. Ethan Klein channel. We talked on Friday about Hassan's reaction to the...
It's from Doolittle. Ah, shit, man. I'm way out then. What did I think? When I think about what album it's from, I'm picturing the liner notes, and I thought I saw it on Trompe Le Monde. Here we go.
Beebis families laughing at the graves of the Beebis children. But then he did one that was even crazier.
Okay, so this might not be the right timestamp. I thought there was a segment here where I thought I did this perfectly, but so he went on to talk somewhere in here. He went to talk about the video, and then he moved on from there. And I thought I had that timestamped, but maybe not. That was a strange alert. That's a Kick alert. Thanks for following on Kick there, whoever that was. Didn't last long enough, that alert. Yeah. Okay, so this is the main conversation, but there was a blurb earlier where they started. There we go. Here it is. This is where they start watching it. My bad. Incorrect timestamp from me. My bad.
We're all impressed. So anyway, that's Will Smith. That's what
he's still out there.
He's hot. He's hot. This was weird. AB, shout out to this guy, I guess.
It's a beautiful.
This is just, I don't understand this guy's content. It's 46-second clip of him just talking about the H3 podcast.
And it had like
Uh-oh.
What'd you do?
That was a Tourette's moment.
Oh no!
I knocked my entire glass off.
Go grab
my
some paper
pants.
towels.
Yeah.
I'm soaking wet.
Oh no, it got on you?
Gucci Grahamy over on Twitch. That was you that did that donation. I'm not 100% certain of what the donations are on Twitch, but I appreciate it. Thank you.
I had the same thing happen last night. I had a monster cup of water right before bed. Spilled the whole fucking thing.
Darn. Side note, I started watching this show on TLC that's about Tourette's, and this one girl.
Netskis, just as a matter of interest, Gibbs, do you follow my streams? I don't typically follow anybody. It's not.
Hello there.
Shyla Rose. Hello there. How you doing, Shyla? It's not vindictive. I only consume a very small amount of content because I'm so busy creating my own. That sounds like a cop out, but that's the truth. I don't really consume much content. By the way, this is AB. This is who the video got served to in the crew of H3, and that's how this all came about, I'm assuming. So we'll skip forward because there's a conversation now about Tourette's.
You guys want to watch Will Smith again?
We sure do. Unironically.
Oh yeah,
Watch
so
that
back
all
to
day.
this guy. Here it is.
A cold morning, and I've just woken up from a strange dream. I was working for H3 podcast, but not in the podcast world. They'd opened up a restaurant. It was a lunchtime restaurant. They just did a lunch menu. I was making focaccias. What were they? They were camembert and cranberry. Camembert cheese with cranberry and roasted chicken and cos lettuce on a focaccia loaf. And it was awesome. And I had to pick up my son. I don't have a son. My son who was staying at their house while we were working. What the hell? Strange dreams. Now back to reality. I'm going to stick around in bed for a while until this warms up because it is cold out there.
That's so weird. I was just thinking of reaching out this guy and offering him a job at my new restaurant.
Yo, Clay over on YouTube. Hello, I'm new to your channel. I'm an H3 fan and I subscribe to your channel through the H3 podcast. How you doing? Well, Clay, can I just say thank you, man? There has been a number of people doing similar and I'm welcoming them all to the content. It's so nice to see such a lovely comment like yours. And yeah, there's been a lot of them and it's been nice to have nice comments in the comments section. None of this, none of this rubbish that I often see in my comments. So yeah, appreciate you, man. Look, let me just tell you, really roughly, the content on this channel, it's a variety. Like it's a huge variety. There's surfing, there's IRL streams, there's nature, there's interesting conversations. When we do live, we often react to things and we watch stuff, we take links and we just hang out. You can follow me anywhere you like on the socials. I am Gives a Minute across them all. And I guess when we're streaming, it's probably more fun. It's probably more fun to watch on YouTube, but to be logged into Kick only because there's a whole bunch of commands on Kick that you can trigger different alerts and whatnot. So, I mean, Kick itself as a platform might be pretty questionable, and I'm sure that there's definitely words to be had about that, but it's the only place that I know that allows users to interact in the chat and bring up quotes and comments and things like that. So we've got a bunch of those already in the shop, if you like, and it's free to use. You've got to just be commenting in the Kick, and then you accumulate these. They're not called kicks, they're just called something, and then you spend them to trigger these alerts. And I've put them, every single alert's one of these things. But Charlotte, Benon deserves to go viral. Pretty cool. Thank you, Charlotte. Yeah, I don't know who out of my regular viewers has seen or hasn't seen this yet. This happened 2 days ago for me, and I'm not too sure who's caught wind of it yet from the regulars that are already on the channel. But yeah, this is kind of blowing up, and yeah, it's been an interesting couple of days. Clay, I know what they say, the variety is the spice of life, and I appreciate every moment. Thank you, man. Thank you. And the other thing too, if I'm all about comments and conversation. So if you ever want to have a discussion about anything, right? If you come on my channel and I'm live and you say, hey, I thought about this or I thought about that, can we talk? I'll always give up what I want to do what you want to do. It's kind of just the thing that we've done here. Like I'll set up some stuff and I'll have tabs out and I'll be ready to go. But if someone comes in and goes, hey, let's talk about this. Or did you hear about that? I'll be like, no, I didn't hear about it. And then we'll dovetail off and we'll go for a wander and we'll do that. And also on the same note, what trumps everything is call-ins. If you come to me and say, oh, I've got this thing that's bugging me, but I want to call in. As long as you're not going to be an asshole, as long as you're not going to be naked or something stupid, I'll check you out in the green room, but we'll always preface a call in over any other content. Grahimi, I use Kick because it doesn't remove my copyright music from streams. And that too, that's true, Truskis. I'm glad you don't stream on Twitch. Sick and disgusting. I am on Twitch, so I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere, but like I said, you can choose to watch me wherever you like. But I'm on Rumble, I'm on Twitch, I'm on D Live, I'm on these weird Asian FC2, Vaughn Live, Africa.tv. I'm streaming on Facebook. There's someone watching too on Facebook. Hello, Facebook machine. I do it everywhere just to get the maximum bang for the buck. But of course, you can choose to watch wherever it suits you. Charlotte, I haven't seen it, but I watched a bit of your YouTube video, but I'm here for it. Yeah, cool. Okay, let's continue on. This is just after I got offered a job at a restaurant that doesn't exist.
For real.
We'll just take it back a bit.
Down in bed for a while until this warms up because it is cold out there.
That's so weird. I was just thinking of reaching out this guy and offering him a job at my new restaurant.
No, for real. That flavor profile is nuts.
I like him.
Dreamed I saw my maternal grandmother.
So this was like a 600 view video that showed up on AB's front page when he opened YouTube.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad you clicked on it. This is such a pleasant little tidbit from this guy. Love it.
Oh my God. He pinned this. This is once again confirming my theory that H3 fans on the regular being cool, attractive people who actually, in fact, touch grass.
Love that.
Nice. I genuinely think that's a pin-worthy comment because, you know, there's one thing to be said about sitting at your computer and never getting outside and getting all opinionated and getting all angsty and upset. But if you actually go out and do shit, you tend to look at the world a bit differently. That's my take on it, and that's why I pinned it, Lauren McCabe. It does, in fact, as we do touch grass. Right on. Yep, touch the grass.
Apparently, this was served to a bunch of H3 fans. Or I don't know. I mean, I don't know. He has 25,000 subscribers. It's such a short clip. Give it a minute. Does he just upload?
Hello, the internet.
Let's see.
This episode is going to be a little
Hold
different.
on, buddy. This is 6 minutes long. I don't have time for all that.
Oh, Charlotte, you've never heard of H3, but you better know I'm going to give them a follow. Let me do this. For anyone that doesn't know this channel, H3 Podcast, it's kind of branded as the H3 Show, but it's been the H3 Podcast for a long, long time. So there's two people, Ethan Klein and his wife, Ela Klein, and then there's a bunch of crew that work with them. And the crew's been there almost from day one, not quite, but some of them have been there from nearly day one, and then some of the others are relatively newish. But the idea of that podcast, it's essentially, I mean, in a way, and I've never admitted this before because I've never really thought it's the same, but I've drawn a lot of inspiration from their content to get to where we are now on my content. So the idea of just being able to react to things, be open to anything, have a discussion, conversation, funny times. A lot of that inspiration came from watching these guys at and that channel has changed a lot over the years. And in some ways, I kind of wish it would also go back to what it was at one point, because Ethan will not agree here, but he's actually quite a good interviewer. But he doesn't agree that, and I don't think he likes interviewing people. But what I did because he used to interview big name guests and whatnot, and when he did, I always found it intriguing that he just it was so different to a regular interview, and the conversation just naturally sort of would progress on and flow. And other interviews seem like they've got either an agenda or a target that they want to meet, whereas it felt like on his interviews it was like, this just meanders however long it goes. And I like that. And I don't know, like, it was kind of like, in a weird way, it's kind of like what all the big podcasts do now, but he was doing it 5-6 years ago. And then he morphed from doing that, and he had a bad experience with one guest. And I watched that back recently, and it wasn't even that bad, but he seems to think it's bad, but it's not that bad. Like, this is the Bill Burr stuff. I don't know if anyone knows what I'm discussing there, but he always says how, you know, I think he might be joking around as well, but he said it's the worst interview of his life, but it's actually not that bad. And the conversation in that interview flowed around quite nicely as well. My advice would be to sub to the H3 podcast. You will definitely enjoy it. As long as you can be open minded, and as long as you can embrace either a combination of like current day affairs. And when I say current day, I just mean like sort of loose politically. The podcast is not political, but there is obviously a political edge to the current day, no matter where you look, right? So there's conversations based around that. There's been a little bit of, I'm dumbing it right down, but there's been a bit of drama of late for something, but you'll find that out if you go back and discover the folklore and all that. But you will get a broad approach of current day's events with a really cool team delivering it. So it's not just him. Like, I'm just sitting here in my bedroom, but he's got a studio with like setups and people, and people come in and they have guests, and it's so fun. And this I'm not smoking it, but I am smoking it because this is what the internet's made for. Like, this is purpose built for the internet, this content. And I don't mind saying it. This is the only channel that I've been subbed to from almost the beginning of my time on YouTube, so near on 10 years, and I haven't missed anything that they've done. Aside from the member streams, I don't tune into those. They stream pretty much every day then, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Tuesdays and Thursdays for members, I think. Here's a little side spiral. So at one point, how do I explain this without sounding like I'm an absolute fanboy? Which I am, but at one point I was downloading everything. Like, I went back on the channel and pressed oldest upload or oldest live. It was uploads back then. And I downloaded, someone downloaded for me the entire channel. And then I put them in a playlist on my VLC on my iPad. And in my day job where I'm driving up and down to the airport, I listen to the podcast just in chronological order from the furthest one back. And I did that I used to do it on the Tracer tours. So back in 2016, I was with Tracer in Europe listening to that H3 podcast from those days. I've been doing it from the very, I don't know. I'm smoking them. Back up in the chit chats, Netskis. I'm not sure not following others is a good way to go. Like, you don't have to watch, but at least you give support. Are you talking about subscribing on YouTube, Netskis? I'll happily follow your channel on Kick if that's what you want. I don't mind doing that, but I'm just saying, and I know this from creating content, I just don't have the time to, it sounds wanky, but I'm so busy with my own. But you know what I'm saying? Like, when I do have time to watch something, even this is a good example, the H3 podcast, I don't even watch it when I'm here. I put it on my iPad and play it while I'm working. So I don't even, they were live this morning. So they were live this morning when I got back from my surf, and instead of watching their show, potentially they could talk about me again today, I didn't watch it. Instead, I'm editing my surfing video. Why? Because I wanted to get that ready so that I could have it in this stream that we're doing right now. So I forewent watching that to edit and upload mine so that I could get it for my thing. But yeah, I'll happily follow you, dude. I've no problem doing that, and I'll publicly do it. You know, like, I don't have any problem doing that. Clay says Ethan Klein's a legend. Absolutely, I've believed in you for a lot of years now. Charlotte says you're destined for a big break. Your content needs to be seen and appreciated. Wow, Charlotte, thank you. You've been here a long time. I appreciate it. Comptex salutes it. Thank you. Very nice of you to say. Very nice. I'm choking up. I'm actually choking on a cookie. Klaysky, I in fact did watch the content nuke on Hassan. I felt like the content nuke was very informative and educational. Look, I as far as that side of it goes, and because you brought it up, I'll attack it, or I'll go in. I don't really. When Leftovers was announced, I was like, oh, political show. Not really interested. But because it's done by Ethan and the H3 crew, I'm interested. So I did watch, even though I begrudgingly, that's not how you say that word, but you know what I'm trying to say. I watched it as a matter of course, but I'll say this, and I'm not just taking sides with Ethan now because of what's happened, but I never liked this Hassan dude. Never liked it. I just didn't like hearing him. I was like, how does he talk like that? Like, the people sit down and listen for hours on end. It's really like grating on your ears. Just his tonality and his delivery, and plus what he was discussing, I just didn't find very interesting. Now, there's obviously a lot more to be said about that, because what they are or what they were, what caused the breakup, is extremely saddening, right? The political climate and what was going on it's horrible world news. And for, I don't know, like it just seems for two people to butt heads about it, it's understandable, but when you think about what they're talking about, Ethan's right. There's nothing more that can be said. He's right and Hassan's wrong. And so that's how I see it. That's where I stand on it. And I don't really have any cold hard facts or any deep sentimental connection or feeling, but you just watch watch the content, Hassan is wrong at this point. Ethan destroyed Hassan fully. I mean, the H3 podcast is cool and refreshing. I have a YouTube account since 2007. I'm meaning on Kick. Yeah, okay. I'll follow you on Kick, Netskis. I've got no problem doing that, man. I probably already do, if I'm being honest. You do have a very good high work ethic. Thank you, Clay. And by the way, just on that note, for those that have been here from the beginning of my content, you'll all know that this where we're at now with the setup and the content and the delivery, it's taken a long time to get here. Taken a long time. We in Australia had a bad problem with lousy internet for a long, long time. Our internet had sucked right here in Australia. We couldn't get fiber. Now we have. For a few years I've had fiber, so we've managed to use what we've got, and we kept working on it until we got to where we are now. So I'm sort of stoked. But it doesn't present well when someone like Ethan Klein jumps on your channel for the first time and says, what the fuck is all this shit, man? What does this guy even do? So let's get back to that, because he says it all, and he says it pretty clearly as well. Let's go from here.
Or I don't know. I mean, I don't know. He has 25,000 subscribers. It's such a short clip. Give it a minute. Does he just
Hello,
upload?
the internet.
Let's see.
This episode is going to be a little
Hold
different.
on, buddy. This is 6 minutes long. I don't have time for all that. Let's see what's his most popular. 13 minutes, bro. Chill.
2.2 million views on that video.
This is the problem with full face snorkel mask. Yeah, that's just not my.
So is he just like living an adventurer's life? Like,
Yeah.
living in a van and going and doing cool shit in the wilderness?
There's a whole niche YouTube community of like people that just like travel all day. That's what Gabby Petito was doing.
I started it
Oh yeah, how much did you watch?
halfway through the first episode, so not very much.
Not a lot.
But I started.
Okay, you're there.
I'm gonna watch
Me
that
and Lena
soon.
watched it. It's sad.
It's very sad.
I always
had to
get
turn it
afraid
off.
of those couples who try to prove how happy they are online.
Oh my god! And they were like the.
Yeah.
That footage of her when from the cops' camera, it's just so sad.
Yeah.
It really was.
Real quick, that clip is actually from a 10-minute video. It's a clip from his longer video.
How
you, AB.
interesting that he just uploaded this tiny little. Okay, we see you. Gives it a minute.
Thank you, Ethan Klein. Hey, he stumbled on my own name. This does suck that when you go to my channel, it looks like that. I don't know, like, yeah, I don't know. It's weird because you want to. YouTube sucks in many ways. Let me go on a little rant here. YouTube sucks because if you've all heard bigger creators say things like, if you want to succeed on YouTube, you've got to niche down. You've got to niche down and find your niche. I thought YouTube meant broadcast you. Like, that's the you in YouTube, right? So do you. And so if I do me is all of these things like surfing, crypto, IRL streams, traveling. That's me. So I'll do me. But unfortunately, unless you niche down and just do what YouTube wants, you won't get promoted. So what I've found over the years, every now and then, something that I do pops off a little. And so they mentioned that Gabby Petito story, which is interesting because I remember when that popped off, Shyla, you brought that to me in my chat. You said you've got to look at this sad story. And I was waiting to see, well, we streamed, we talked about it, we did our thing. And then I was waiting to see what Ethan would say about it. And I recall, I can remember the episode where that was in their doc. They have a doc that they flow through with to keep the show on track. And I remember he said, oh, look, I don't really want to talk about the Gabby Petito thing. We'll just leave that. So that was brought up to have a conversation about, and he just declined it, which is interesting because it's a very sad story. And I don't know, like, as we were doing it, when we did it back then, I felt like I wasn't, like, I didn't bring anything to the table. It was weird because I wanted to know about it, but all it did was make all of us sad and upset. And I didn't give anything. There was nothing forthcoming from me. I wonder if that's why Ethan said, let's not touch that, because there's nothing that, aside from having another YouTube video about it, it's not going to do anything, right? Like, and at that time, he was still missing or something? I think he was still missing. I always wonder why there's no one on Kick or Beam. Pretty much everyone is on DLive. DLive. Doing one thing is boring though, as a viewer especially. Yeah, I agree, Shyla. I have Gabby's Let It Be tattoo, exactly the same spot. And oh wow, you felt really drawn to her. Well, look, so you got a tattoo based upon what happened to her in her story. That's pretty heavy. And we talked about it, so all right. Yeah, that's great.
We see you.
Have you watched the Netflix doco? Not yet. It's in my queue. We see you.
Tiny little. Okay. We see you gives it a minute. We see you.
I should clip that, right? That should be an audio drop on my channel. We see you gives it a minute. Can I clip that?
Little. Okay. We see you gives it a minute.
Gives it a minute. I'm going to rebrand to Gives It a Minute.
We see you. Here it is. Oh, and look, his thumbnail, he even put a panini.
Focaccia.
Or focaccia sandwich
It
there.
was the focaccia sandwich he was dreaming of.
That's so nice.
It is nice.
Well, good luck out there, buddy. I hope, wish you all the best, huh?
Thank you.
Here's this new one from 41 minutes ago. 2 views.
Now this is interesting. Okay, I'll just let it play and then I'll discuss it.
Here's this new one from 41 minutes ago. 2 views. So this was like a viral hit for him. Because his last one has 2 and 7 views.
Yeah.
True.
NT Park online booking system needs to be fixed ASAP. Tell me about it.
Let's hear it.
We just had someone come over say,
I will admit, this is a fairly niche complaint.
yeah.
So.
Hey,
like maybe
we
something
booked
you're
this.
Sorry. The funny thing in there is I don't think he knows what NT Park's online booking system is, and why would he? It's a fairly niche complaint.
To be fixed ASAP. Tell me about it.
Let's hear it.
We just had someone come over say,
I will admit, this is a fairly niche complaint.
Yeah.
So.
hey,
like maybe
we
something
booked
you post
this
on our
campsite,
forum.
so you have to leave. And we're like, we booked it. And they're like, no, we booked it. Get this. Yes, the booking we made is for next Wednesday, the 18th, not today. Ellery.
Well, you better push on out then, bucko. Sounds like you're in someone's camping spot.
We were.
Creek Big Hole one night.
They were not happy.
These were there was campsite 4, campsite 5, and campsite 6 were green. Now campsite 6 is red because we booked it, is what I'd assume. However, when you on hover, that's telling you that campsite 5 is available from the 18th and the 19th.
That is so lousy.
It doesn't. This date here is not the day you arrived.
It doesn't reflect what you've selected there, is what you're saying. What a load of shit, man.
You're a UX designer, Marty. What the hell? When you put in a date on a website, you would assume that this date along here is the day, your current date.
Yeah. Why do you even need to see all these other dates anyway? If you've selected one date, one night, it should just come up campsites available or not.
When she came over and said we got a booking, I was like, so do we. So we filed up our booking, and I see this booking confirmation came today, right? Today's date, 12:46 a.m. And it says staying Wednesday the 18th to the 19th. We didn't do that. We booked today, as it said on the fucking website. What a load of shit. It has been resolved, but I just want to make it super clear. Northern Territory Parks and Booking System, you should fix this shit, because these people have said this happens lots of times to people.
No one's gonna.
Can I ask you, do you think that this message reached the NT Park people?
Well, it might now.
Can I tell you? It did. Because of these guys, it did. And I got approached by Take 5, which is a fucking lousy tabloid magazine, newsstand magazine. They approached me to do an interview. Let me tell you about that once. So this is why this H3 podcast is so rad, because they just pick up on anything random, and then the community, the foot soldiers, get behind it, and suddenly shit gets done. I'll tell you about my TikTok where this same video got uploaded. Someone from the National Parks, NT Parks online booking system commented, and also someone from a previous ranger commented on there saying, yeah, we know about that. This is that TikTok, by the way, it's my most watched TikTok. What he's watching there is my YouTube upload, but the TikTok's got about 80,000 views. My most watched TikTok. And by the way, I don't really promote TikTok. However, now I'm over 1,000 followers. We could do a live stream over there. Northern Territory Parks and Booking System, you should fix this shit, because these people have said this happens lots of times to people.
No one's gonna.
Can I ask you, do you think that this message reached the NT Park people?
Well, it might now, because we are promoting it, and I feel like we need to make sure that somebody who works there sees our highlight of his clip.
Guys,
look at that. Ethan Klein just liked my video. That needs to, I gotta get a little screen. I might get that on a t-shirt. That's his mouth. He's just saying, just fanboying a little there. Ethan Klein just liked my video. Shit, yeah.
I'm sure that somebody who works there sees our highlight of his clip.
Guys, if you happen to have a connection to NT Park, please make sure that they see this, because
I think
their system
Northern
is absolutely
Territory Parks booking system. Yeah.
Please, guys, please.
It's funny how they, it's like, please, they don't care, but it's just for shits and giggles. It's funny, right? Crystal Rose, wait, really? Yeah, fully. I'll tell you about it. Yeah.
So I was curious. I looked up on his channel H3, and he has videos.
I love it.
To the H3 podcast.
Oh,
really?
Okay. Let's.
Yeah. Okay, so just before we get into the pitch part, let me just jump off there and just explain what happened with that. So I did upload that to my TikTok account, and as it stands right now, that TikTok, 83,000 views. By far there's one on there that's got about 70,000. But the comments on there, and by the way, if you want to see this, just find me. I'm Gives them in it across all the platforms. If the platform exists, I'm pretty much over there. But where's this TJ, now it's just moved. TJ, I was a ranger for the Westmax National Parks until December. Parks pass and booking systems are terrible. I always got people to call to book rather than online. So don't use the online. And then this person, Skagan, says, revenue from the passes, camping and walking fees will all be invested back into the protection, maintenance and safety of our parks. And the creation of new visitor experiences, and she signed it as Sally Egan from the NT Parks. So what I'm saying is that this did reach the people, and I got this email. In fact, I'll bring this up just so that you guys don't think I'm faffing around here. I'll bring this up. I'll show it to you. When was it? Yesterday, to my Gmail. From a Courtney Greatrex. So first of all, she sent to my my Facebook gives a minute profile, which I got a notification. You got an email or a message in Facebook. I'm like, Facebook? What? When? Who? How? Who's doing that? So I said, can you just send it as an email? And so she did. So this is, where's my mouse? This is her email. Moving this chat to your emails. As I mentioned, I'm a journalist at Yahoo News Australia. I saw your post on TikTok about the NT booking system and was interested in finding out more about this and sharing a story about how complicated and confusing it is. Would you be up for contributing to a story on this matter? Cheers, Courtney. I said, Courtney, much better over here. Thanks for reaching out. I'd be happy to contribute to your story. Before moving forward, I'd love to know if there's a budget for contributor insights or interviews. Let me know what you're thinking in terms of compensation and we can discuss the best way to proceed. Looking forward to your thoughts. Where do you think this goes from here? Just in the chat, where do you think this goes? Does she go forward and offer me some kind of contribution or does she not? I want to hear what you guys think before we get to what the actual response was. And while you're doing that, I'll bring up the this is the magazine she works for, or she's putting a story in. This is an absolute pile of crap. Tabloid, schlocky, junky. When I saw this, because I went and researched it, I was like, this shit still exists? Who's buying this crap? Really, people still buy magazines off the newsstand? What the she does not, no chance, Rob Mac. I need to know how you found out and felt when you first heard that the channel was discovering your video. I was stoked, Charlotte. I was also coming off a long shift at my day job. I got home at like midnight after starting at like something stupid in the morning. I got home and I was like, what? And I watched it and I couldn't sleep. I'm not making this up. That night when I got home and watched it, I was like, tried to go to bed and I was like, that's insane. Like, and then I had even weirder dreams. I don't even want to talk about those dreams, but they were so weird, so weird. Apparently people still do buy magazines off the newsstands at grocery stores. Yeah, jeez, man. Like, anyway, so the response was, unsurprisingly, hi, Benon. No worries. It seems to be a problem across the whole country. This is in regards to the booking system. Unfortunately, we don't have a budget for this. We'd be more than happy to give you a link back and embed your post into our story so the audience can find you if that works. Let me know if you'd like to proceed. I said, certainly seems like a big fail if both myself, in brackets, highly tech savvy, and Marty, literally a UX designer, couldn't easily use it. In regards to your piece, I appreciate the offer, but I generally only participate in media pieces when there's a budget for contributors. If that changes in the future, I'll be happy to revisit. Wishing you the best with the story. I do not give a flying fuck about Take 5 magazine. If you want me to contribute, if you want to use this story, you will pay for it, just like you have any other contributor. And just like that, she says there's no budget. There's a magazine with no budget and you can go and pick it up from the newsstand at your local convenience store. Are you kidding me? Did you see what's on the front cover of this magazine? Where was it? Look at this. Win cash dash of 15 grand, 46 grand, or 5,000 grand. You telling me that there's no money? There's no money going around here? Get the hell out of here. So I declined. I buy it when I'm flying or traveling. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Do you get anything out of it though? Being brutally honest, is there anything in there that you take away from it, like, and go, oh, that changed my life? I'm stoked. I know about Tom Cruise, and his real last name's not Cruise. You know, that's just changed. I can never watch those movies again because I know he's got a stage name. I see the older folk buying the magazines. Okay. Maybe I should have rephrased that. Are there any young people that buy magazines like that kind of tabloid schlock? It could make the Daily Mail. I don't care. Whatever. They want to get paid, but they don't want to pay you. Maybe I won't buy anymore. I mean, look, that was pretty cut and paste, right? She just responded with no money. We'll take whatever we can get, and we'll give you a link back. A link back. It's just mindless read when no internet's available. Okay, that's fair if you're in the plane. Yeah, that's fair. You can even at some colleges in the United States buy magazines. Okay, well, so there are magazines to be had, but what I wanted to highlight there is that there was a journalist that approached me, and there's been 2 comments from people at the NT parks that are aware of this. Obviously, I'm not the only one that's complained about that. And by the way, my complaint video wasn't really to complain. My complaint video was more to, I guess, highlight that this happens. I'll be honest, I don't care if they fix it or not. I love that the H3 crew have rallied behind it. It's a silly thing to rally behind. We could take this to the very top and rally all the way if we wanted to. Pouring a drink there, Charlotte. Cheers. But I genuinely don't care what happens with it. But I do care that everybody from the H3 show is behind it. That makes it more interesting, and that means if I needed to, I'd follow through with everything just for the shits and giggles. If Ethan said you should do that interview and we'll give you the script, we'll write the script for you and we'll feed in some subtle in-house jokes and shit, I'd definitely do that. I'd go groveling back to what Cheers is. I'd go groveling back to that journalist and say, "Oh, I've had a thought about it. I'd really like the link back." And then I would give them what they need.
I wrote this script.
We could have a good time with that too, you know? That would be fun. Klasky, the NT parks should be more professional. They're taking care of their clients and campers. True. They need to be seriously get their booking. Yeah, I mean, it's dead set. Let's continue on because it does morph out a little bit here.
Please.
So I was curious. I looked up on his channel H3, and he has videos called "My Pitch to the H3 Podcast."
Oh,
really?
Okay. Let's hear him out.
Let's hear the pitch.
So this guy's a fan.
Yeah,
Seems like it, yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
He has
Love
a video from like 6 years ago saying that what I'm listening to right now is the pod.
A longtime fan.
Yes, indeed.
Welcoming. Look up to Tucker.
Is that what he sounds like to you, Zach?
A little bit.
What I'm watching Wednesday.
Maybe I could be Zach's tool photographer. That guy here, he's the guy who does all the sound bites on the show. He's a musician. He plays often in LA. I mean, I'm in Australia, but if the gig was right, I could be his tour photographer. No one rings to book; it's all online. If you had to ring to book someone, I wouldn't bother going there. You don't want to use the online booking system, Charlotte. Let me tell you, Klasky. If you're making a booking for a specific camp spot, you should get that camp spot the day that you booked that camp spot, and not only should it be reserved. Crystal Rose, that'd be awesome. I mean, look, yeah, I've got. Okay, let me promote myself here. Go to my website, bjwalk.com. This is my photography website. The URL, where are you? You're on YouTube. I'll paste it in the YouTube chat so that YouTube sees it. That's my photography website. And I guess if you go over to the Tracer tab, this is a link that takes you to all of the work I did with Tracer spanning the years 2011 through 2016, including how I first met them, which does include a poo story. I pooed myself. Yeah, that wasn't the first time I pooed myself either, but that's how I pooed myself when I first met Tracer. And then there's all of the work I did with Tracer, including all the tours and all of the anniversary streams. I've got to upload the 2025 anniversary stream because they've been defunct for nearly 10 years. So that's yeah. Essentially, what I'm saying is I've got loads of experience as a tour photographer, but I live in Australia. But anyway, no one can ever say you don't put your heart and soul into your channels. Thank you, Charlotte. I do focus my attention, even in the short videos. Yeah, true.
What I'm watching Wednesday. What the final? Oh, this isn't even the first one.
So what he's got there on my channel, if you search H3, you come up with all of the times I've watched H3. And so I did a thing when I started my YouTube channel. I thought it would be interesting for people to see what I watch when I'm not creating content. That's what Netsky asked me about earlier, right? What do I consume? Well, back in 2016 when I did that, I did 2 different seasons of it, 2 blocks of 10, and H3 podcast was on it back then. I kind of want to watch that, but I also don't want to cringe because when the creator looks at their old content, it's always like, oh, did I really I had a pretty haircut at the time. Do I really want to? But anyway, they saw that, and yeah. Actually, it's had 98 views from 6 years ago. We'll watch that later, but let's continue on.
Final pitch update. Whoa. How do you give a pitch update? I didn't. It's an hour long.
Well, does it make sense to start at the end of the saga?
There's two comments on the final pitch update. In the top one says, honestly, I don't see why H3 would ever be interested in this, but Godspeed to you guys. And then the next one says, I don't get why H3 would be involved.
AI music with Suno, Hex Crypto, audio fails, and my pitch to the H3 podcast needs work. My friend, this is 5.5 hour long.
Oh my goodness, that's quite a presentation, isn't it?
Look, he even commented on H3
Drama
Keemstar beef
4 years ago.
Damn, he's a long-term fan.
You definitely intrigued them. This is wild. Yeah, this is pretty wild. I'll explain it, but you guys know. The regulars know here. But anyway,
like this guy.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what. Listen, if you could maybe consolidate the pitch down to like, I don't know, under a minute.
From the 5 hours, that might be tough.
So just to cut in, they're getting it wrong. The pitch obviously isn't a 5 hour pitch. That's a live stream where we had the pitch in it. But anyway, it's funny.
Under a minute.
From the 5 hours, that might be tough. You're right though. You got to have the elevator pitch. That's.
I mean, here, let's watch 5.5 hours, Dan. Let's get started.
Okay.
Stream starts. Okay, well, they do a little countdown, but let's see. Let's get here.
A cheeky 420.
This guy's probably tripping out so much watching this right now. Us talking about this.
Quite mention what that costs.
Is he frozen?
I guess we could just sign up to
No,
it.
thinking.
He was really.
I'm going to sign up.
Still there.
You got me. You got me. What browser am I in? Firefox. Okay, I'm going to redo this in Brave Browser browser.
He's on Kick.
Well, do we even want to do this? I don't even know if we want to do it.
I don't even know.
Crystal, good point, Crystal. Ethan would still make that minute into 2 hours. Yep. I'm not the guilty one here. Ethan is.
He's on Kick.
Well, do we even want to do this? I don't even know if we want to do it.
I don't even know what it is you're doing.
Well, to be fair, you skipped to the 15-minute mark. It said that the stream started in 4 minutes and 20 seconds, so we are already several minutes into the stream.
Like, why was the narrative changed? And he might just turn around and say, yeah, we fucked that up. We somehow that got cut on the cutting room floor.
Surely he's not criticizing us.
That could be the complete answer. He could just say,
I seriously doubt that's going to be what he says.
But that could be an out. Like that could be the way he says, yeah, well, we talked about it and then it got cut.
Dude, I cannot wait for this conversation.
It would be very, very odd to hear him say that, given that as Hendrik correctly said, the title of the fucking film, literally, the film could even say the highest of stakes.
Hello there.
Who's that? Okay. Who's that? Whoa. Hello there.
Whoa.
All right, I got to get out of this.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the Ghost Town guy.
Gives it a minute, guys, please.
Hello.
Gives it.
So just for those that wondered, we were not talking about H3 at that point. And I will wrap up the pitch, but what we were talking about right there was Richard Hart and Hex and the highest of stakes, and how I was about to have an interview with Captain RG3 to discuss how come in the highest of stakes there wasn't any mention of 5555. That's what we were discussing. Anyway, and does Dale know? No, Dale doesn't. I don't think Dale watches the H3 show. But yeah, but that's Dale, and he'll be upset that he didn't have blue screen static as his handle or something 69. But anyway, so just to, and I did this in my video, but I'll touch it right now just in case anyone's watching that didn't watch that video. So the pitch was 7 minutes long. That's probably 6 minutes too long, right? It should be down to 1 or 1.5 minutes. It needs to be snappier. But anyway, we got it down to 6 minutes or 7 minutes. It was a joint effort between the crew that have always been here with me. So I brought an initial pitch, and then we rewrote it and re-scripted it and reshot it and tweaked it, and we got it down to 7 minutes. I sent that pitch off the H3 show as an unlisted video on my YouTube channel, and the only person that got the link was Dan at H3 Productions. The correct email address, and it had 0 views. Sent it to Dan with a little email. Here's my idea. This is a pitch. And by the way, for those that are wondering, I was asking for money. I was asking for 1 Bevo. That's an It's an in-house joke. If you know, you know. $5,000 to pay for Starlink and fuel to fund a road trip from the east coast of Australia into the center to the big red rock, Uluru Ayers Rock, and do it all live. That's what the $5,000 was for. I did make versions of that pitch that included other brands, but my main focus was on the H3 podcast because in the past they've often talked about they're genuinely interested in Australia and they've got an attraction to Australia. They always take the piss out of our strange accent, which I understand, funny animals, all that other stuff. And there is a crew of Aussies in that family of crew of the H3 family that is Australian. So I thought this would be a great way to showcase Australia. They cover everything, and they could cross to me live whenever our live coincided. I was often live 10 hours a day kind of thing. They're often live when I get back from a surf, so the timings would have worked. My point was, my main focus was H3. Now what happened was the email went off, and within a day and a half, the view count on the unlisted video went to 1. So in my mind, I concluded that someone at the H3 podcast did click on the link and watch some portion of the pitch. Now, whether it be Dan or not, it could have been, I don't know where his email goes, but it might not have been him. But someone clicked on it, because I know when you upload a video to YouTube and it's unlisted and you send that link out, only if that link gets clicked does the view count go to 1. Hey, thanks for following me over on Twitch. Big Dog, how you doing, man? Big Dog. And so when that went to 1 and the no email came in, I concluded that they saw it and they said, we don't want to be involved, to themselves or to the, but it sounds like nobody did, or maybe Dan did and forgot. I don't know, but either way, the message was clear. We're not interested. And I didn't take that offensively. I didn't take it like, I just took it like, okay, well, at least there's a 1 there. So at least they saw it. If it stayed on 0 and the email just went into the ether and nobody ever clicked on it, then I would have been a bit more bummed, right? But at least they did see it and they decided no. So then I took my other 10 versions of the pitch that were tweaked slightly different, and I was reaching out to other brands, and I did get a bite with, and I incorrectly stated this in my video that I uploaded the other day. It wasn't the 4-wheel drive Supercenter. It was Kick-Ass products. I think they might even be owned by the same people, but I got it wrong. It wasn't 4-wheel drive Supercenter. It was Kick-Ass. So Kick-Ass and I were in conversations, multiple phone conversations, to discuss how we'd actually go about achieving this. They were talking about cash and product. So they have solar blankets and all this camping gear and all that. So we were in discussions. And then, unfortunately for me, they said no at the very last. Apparently, they only had a certain budget and there was enough other people that they were discussing similar things with. And it came down to, get this, which is no surprise. She said to me, unfortunately, we're going to decline going ahead with you based upon your view counts. So my subscriber count is artificial. That 25,000 came from that one snorkel mask video. You all know it from watching the regulars here, Charlas and the Hendricks. You guys all know that my videos get no views. So the 25,000 sub looks pleasing to the eye initially, but then when you look in the videos, as the H3 guys saw, 2 views, 7 views. So that worked against me. And in that regard, I kind of wish I didn't get that stupid boost from that snorkel video, because it's kind of fucked me, really. Like, it's not real. The number's legit, and I've never paid for any subscribes or anything like that. Never done that, but it's sort of stagnated anything that could potentially happen on the channel. So that's why when this comes, this little boost from the H3 crew, I'm like, fuck yeah. I'm suddenly getting views on videos and I'm getting comments, and every comment is genuinely nice. I was like, this is what the internet, this is what YouTube should be, right? I was stoked. So to answer your question, how did it feel when I saw this, Charla? And also Ethan asked, what's this guy thinking when he's watching this? It made me feel vindicated that 9 years slogging away on YouTube, finally, there's been some kind of I mean, this isn't even really a payout, but it's something, right? It's something genuine. They should make you the weather and traffic guy in Australia and cut to you every now and then. Yo, Crystal, that's actually pretty cool. I would only do that if I could do it on location. You know, like I get out and do IRL streams from camping grounds. Could I do like this just in the weather at this absolutely remote fucking waterhole where there's one other person be like, hey, it's beautiful and sunny, isn't it? And the guy's like, yeah, it's beautiful and sunny. So if you're thinking of coming down to this waterhole 7 hours from nowhere, it's going to be sunny for you. That'd be pretty funny. Is this the one you were talking about? You could see that they read it or viewed it? Yeah, that's the one, Charlotte. Yeah. That'd be perfect, Crystal Rose. Well, look, that's, by the way, now we've got 2 roses, Charlotte Rose and Crystal Rose. That's cool. Rose unites. Rose is the growth of the rose bush is growing. At the end of my well, hang on. Let's continue with this because Ethan does request something here. So let's just continue with this.
Yeah, that's the Ghost Town guy.
Gives it a minute, guys, please.
Hello.
Gives me a minute pitch, okay, and I'll watch it. How about that? You promised me minute clips in the title, and you gave me 5.5 hours, man. Come on.
Oh, God.
I love you, though. Thanks for watching, and happy dreaming.
Thank you, Ethan.
If I ever open a restaurant, he'll be the first one I'll reach out.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah.
I can write that one menu feature, and that's it.
Panini, my focaccia sandwich, man. Mike from PA, enemy of the show.
Okay, so let's leave it there. Let me just say, so he requested the pitch, a 1 minute version of the pitch. Obviously, there's no reason to pitch because what they don't know from looking at my channel, and I know it's very confusing. The dates are all over the shop. The pitch, when it failed, I just worked extra at my day job and I saved the money myself, and I bought the Starlink, and me and Marty went halves in the fuel, and we went and did the trip. So we did and I said this to my guys for the regulars here. I said this to everybody. I'm going to do these pitches. I'm going to try to get a brand involved. But if nobody comes on board, we're still going. We're still doing it. Like I'm going to make it happen. And I just worked every single shift that I could get, and I saved the money, and we went. So there's no point in making a pitch for something that's already happened. And to that effect, I don't have any other ideas right now, but what I thought would be, and Crystal Rose kind of hit it as well, what I thought would be wonderful, we need to, maybe now is the right time to sort of capitalize on this Australian thing, right? Like the H3 crew they're obviously interested in Australia. Apparently there's a lot of Australian fans that they're all over my channel, right? There's a lot of them. So can we somehow do something that brings the Aussie crew together for part of the show, like something not so much, not about me. Like I don't like, yes, the first pitch was selfishly just for me and Marty so we could do this road trip. Definitely, right? Like I wanted them to pay for it in exchange for content. But now that we don't need that, or that's not where we're at, can't we do something that brings all of us together in a big bundle? I don't know what that would be. I don't know what that looks like, but I think there could be a conversation. Just Crystal Rose spitting shit about the weather report, that kind of thing, like something that could come natively. Like, do we all fly to the NT and try to make a booking on the NT bookings website and all get the wrong? I don't know. The H3 crew have talked about having come down under and do a live show from down under. Do we work on that in the back end? Do we get together and form a committee and start looking for venues? Do we something can be somehow we can take this, what's come from me or from my channel and from the H3 crew, piece it together and come up with something bigger for Australia and the H3 show. That's what I think. That's where I think we could take it. But I don't know. Charlotte, if only he could hear your dream recordings. Damn, dude. Yeah. I haven't done that for a while, but I've still got a bunch of them there. Let's go back on my channel and do what they did and search for H3, because I kind of want to watch that What I'm Watching Wednesday. Just want to see how cringe it is. Search for H3. So yeah, that's the video I made yesterday about thanking everybody, which pretty much just goes over what I just went over here now. There's the I Dreamt I Worked for the H3 podcast restaurant. That's the original, 1.4 thousand views 3 days ago. I mean, look, I get numbers that big, but definitely not in 3 days. Today's surf, I mentioned H3. Are there any other surfers in the H3 family? What I'm Watching Wednesday, episode 18, 6 years ago, 105 views. Pitch update, final update. That's the one that they watched. And there's a recap. The H3 drama alert beef. That was a stream. Wow. We did a live stream on that. That doesn't seem like it's H3 related. Okay, so let's get ourselves highly embarrassed and watch this. I haven't seen this in years.
Welcome to What I'm Watching Wednesday for 2018. This is where I show you 10 YouTube channels that I've been following this year. Welcome to episode 18 of What I'm Watching Wednesday. Now this one's been a little guilty pleasure of mine for the past 6 months or so. Ever since I decided I wanted to start a live stream on my channel, that's another story, it hasn't actually begun yet. The H3 podcast. It's the brainchild of...
Charlotte, I still say you look younger now. I'll take that. I'll take that. Do you need to wear glasses or something, Charlotte? Is your eyesight just gone? Bring it back.
Another story, it hasn't actually begun yet. The H3 podcast. It's the brainchild of Ethan and Gila Klein of H3H3.
What up, peeps? Welcome back to another episode of the H3 Podcast Live.
And at its core, it is simply a podcast.
Get out of here.
Now he thinks it's a game.
Had tape in his mouth.
Ethan and Gila will interview a subject for as long as the interview takes. They've interviewed a wide variety of guests, ranging from Keemstar.
We are here with the legend, the supervillain.
Isn't that interesting? By the way, this is refreshing to watch right now because but earlier in this live stream, I pretty much said the same things without knowing that I'd already said it 6 years ago.
Keemstar.
We are here with the legend, the supervillain, the fucking villain of YouTube. You know him. You might love him. You might hate him. But you know him for sure. His name is Killer Keemstar.
What's up? Thanks for having me.
What up?
What's up?
I'm actually really happy you're here. I've never met you in person, but it's nice to finally see you and be able to touch you and give you a squeeze.
How was the experience?
I was disappointed.
Billy D.
What up, beautiful bastards? Welcome to another episode of the H3 Podcast.
It sounds so wrong.
Did that not sound right? That right coming out of my mouth?
No, it was like my dad said it.
Hey, hello, beautiful bastards. Here with Philip DeFranco. I made that intro in honor of him.
Jake Paul.
Without him, I'd be dead. But I'm sorry, I got too far away. Yeah, I don't even know.
Dude, God bless your mic etiquette. We have so many guests in here who are like, by the end, they're like this. Jake, for 1 second, is like, oh, shit, I got
bro, I'm out here. I'm a rapper, right? It's every day, bro.
Jordan Peterson.
We all handle of one kind or another. How do you handle it? Like, knowing that there's people out there who have never met you, don't know you at all, but they just hate your guts.
It depends on who they are. If they're an academic or a journalist of some repute, and they go after me without warrant, if they make arguments that are invalid, false, let's say, lies, we could even say that, then I'll go after them and call them out. Because I think if they're professors, it's like, get your act together. You've got a position of authority and influence.
Well, it's a professional gauntlet.
That's
in
right.
a way, right.
That's exactly it. It's like, you're going to come after me, you're going to tell me I'm not qualified, I'm off kilter, whatever you think is like. Prepare to defend yourself.
Shane Dawson.
That's interesting because that, for those that watch the show, will know that podcast, and I think he did another one. I think he had Jordan Peterson on twice. They got he removed them. So the H3 Ethan pulled those ones down. So it's interesting that is in my video. Yeah, I guess there's the reasoning. Ethan has spoke of it. I don't want to paraphrase what he said, but he has good reason to have pulled those podcasts down. But yeah, as of 2016, there it is. So it's on my channel. I forgot about that.
You know this could happen to anybody.
Right.
Absolutely. Like they took a thing from 6 years ago and edited it up. Imagine like all of us have hours of content. Like it could happen to anybody.
Anyone.
The cleanest person in the world. Justine, who knows?
I completely agree. It could happen to any one of us. There's no question about it. I have some old videos, boy.
But also,
they should all be unlisted now.
It's a huge difference.
That's not a challenge, by the way.
I feel like people need to make the difference between like you made a shitty joke that you shouldn't have made to this guy's a pedophile. That's insane. They're so far from each other. Yeah.
And Sean Evans.
How's your butthole doing?
Butthole is holding up for everybody who's concerned out there. It is just, it's battle tested. It's military grade. It's never been better. You know, I feel like it's like somebody getting in the gym. You know what I mean? I feel like I've just built up a superhero butthole at this point. Yeah. The thing that makes this podcast so compelling to watch for me is the on-screen persona of Ethan and Gila. Now, if you're new to YouTube and you haven't heard of this husband and wife team, what they do on the podcast is very, very relaxed. They sit down at a table, they let their guests speak, they let the story naturally weave its own trajectory. There are no Hollywood interview tactics at play.
I swear to you, I did not watch this. I haven't seen this since I uploaded it, and I pretty much said those exact words earlier in this stream. That's freaky.
Here, this is just straight up chatting to a guest and letting the tangent take itself wherever it goes. In terms of their guests, I know on the bucket list, Gila has mentioned many times she'd love to have Larry David on the show.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in the interview format of a show, of a podcast, and you're sick of the regular schlock you get on television, you're definitely going to love the H3 podcast. Now, what can we do as viewers to help get Larry David on that show? Because I feel that would be pretty good. I hope that you liked this episode and that you'll also go and check out the creator I featured. And if you like what I'm doing here on this channel, please hit the subscribe button. Check out my latest vlog here and a random vlog there. There's also a bunch of ways you can contribute to the channel financially in the description down below if you feel that way inclined. What's that? We're out of time. That's
So that video over 6 years has generated 105 views. 105 views in 6 years. So you might say adding the H3 podcast to a title of a video doesn't do jack shit, or didn't do jack shit for 6 years. Look at this, Jordan Pike. Love the H3 podcast. Barry's views. Good video, Ben. I'll have to go over and check their channel out. Writer. Mr. Black, Danny Black. I just can't get over his wife's voice. Danny. Fuck you, man. This channel's changed a lot over the years, hasn't it? 700 different videos about GoPro features. Unbelievable. Anyway, I've got to take a whiz. I'm going to leave you with my surfing clip again. I'll be right back.
Gang bang! Gang bang! Gang bang! Gang bang! Gang bang!
Gang bang. This is
Gang bang! 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 Gang bangs!
Are there any surfers in the H3 family? I'm pretty fortunate. Oh, hold on a second. Ooh. Yeah, I'm super lucky because I can walk out my backyard and just check the surf conditions. Get out most days, shoot a little content, have a little fun.
All right, there we are. A little surfing action from this morning. Just check the forecast too. It's going to be decent tomorrow. Not as good as today, but maybe it'll be better. The swell's going to be a little higher, so that should work in our favor if the tide's the same. So, by the way, I feel like that does conclude the H3 situation, or how do I phrase it? That concludes the H3 content. For the time being anyway, as it stands. There is another episode of the H3 show that I haven't watched yet. I haven't even watched the full show from where I'm in. I haven't watched that yet because I just haven't had time. But I am working tomorrow, so I will be watching as much as I can. Actually, I've got other episodes to catch up on as well. Might just take a week off creating content just to watch content. But shall we continue? I'll leave it up to the chat to decide. Shall we continue on here? Yeah, there was a new episode today. Yeah, Clay, I did see that they were live. When I got back from that surf, they were live, and I was like, I want to tune in, I want to watch, but I couldn't. I had to do my editing. we do. Charlotte says yes. Continue. So we do have a channel that we watch quite often. It's called Sarah Gordo. No, it's called Ghost Town Living. It's this guy here. We call him Tooth Boy. No reason except that he's got lovely teeth, or he's got lovely veneers. They're not real teeth, right? I don't think he's got real teeth. I think they're veneers. And we've been watching his content quite a lot on the channel. In fact, I brought this guy to my viewers by watching and reacting to his content. This video we're up to right now is 4 months old. My mail client's still open. Can I close that down in the background? So let's move on and continue with Ghost Town Living, aka Tooth Boy. Hello there. Got him. Hello there. Klasky, have you ever heard of the YouTube channel called Infographics Show? They have a video about the Russian sleep experiment. I think you might like to watch it. It's very interesting. I have not, Klaskys. You can you put a link in a YouTube chat? I don't think you can. Clay, are you on any of the other platforms? I don't think YouTube allows linkages. But other platforms like pretty certain Kick does, DLive, Twitch does, and I'm there. And if you do have any of those platforms under your handle, you can put the link in and we'll grab it. I'm on Instagram. I'm not streaming live on Instagram, unfortunately. Yeah, you'll have to be one of the streaming platforms. I know you can live on Insta. I don't do it though. Yeah, but I'd like to check that out. By the way, I did have another idea that I wanted to run by everybody at some point. I guess we could do it now. It's not quite related to the H3 stuff, but it kind of is. As I near on 10 years YouTube for the Gives a Minute channel, it's coming up in August, 10 years, I've thought about something that I've wanted to do, and that is to be more... First of all, I'm going to streamline everything so that it's all together in the one, because I think that's too difficult having a kick stream and this stream and that stream. Just do all the same. So we'll do that. But then I want to be involved in more other people's content. I want to broaden the community. And so what I was thinking would be to at least once a week, 4 times a month, be either on someone else's channel as a guest or have them on my channel as a guest. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, because it's okay to stick to your own channel and your own content, but if you can broaden, and I guess we're seeing it here with this H3 bump, let's say, if you can morph two things together, you bring both audiences, and then the algorithm picks up and starts seeing that you're being viewed by other people, and then it starts delivering. And this is how the dream video got, how it made its way to AB, is what I'm assuming. A whole bunch of people that liked the H3 show watched my video and got fed to them, so they watched it. Then eventually, because those people watched it, it also got fed back to, I don't know, I'm spitting shit here, but that's what I want to do. I want to, from August this year, and we've got a bunch of months until then. It's almost the end of February, but from August, I want to actively make an attempt to be either a guest or have someone on my channel once a week, for the whole year, just to see what happens. So yeah, thinking about doing that anyway. Might not do it, but thinking about it.
My name is Brent, and right now we are in the abandoned mining town of Cerro Gordo. And this town used to be the largest silver mine in California, with thousands of residents and hundreds of millions of dollars worth of ore. And for the past 4 years, I have been living up here trying to bring a little life back to the place, to preserve this town for future generations. And this month got off to a little bit of a slow start, but then it got very busy. We put a roof on a hotel that we have been rebuilding. Minerals were discovered and
Crystal Rose, I'd love to see videos of you in the wilderness and showing us the wildlife, since Australia has crazy creatures. Do you know what? Yes, absolutely. And there has been that has been a thing that we've done. Absolutely. To find that on my content, that would be more tricky to search up. But yeah, kangaroos and sharks and wallabies and spiders.
Fine. Tons of animals have flocked back to town because of a pond that we put in, and maybe, just maybe, we have solved a water issue way up here in the high desert.
That's huge.
A lot has happened this month, so let's get into it.
If they've solved that water issue, that's massive.
So we had a visitor up here the other day that told me that after he got sick and laid up in bed for a week, it took him about a week to feel normal again in social settings. And I have not stopped thinking about that conversation since, because I have been living up here at Cerro Gordo for a full 4.5 years. And if we use his math, it is going to be 4.5 years back in a city before I feel normal again. And at this point, I can't even remember what I was like before Cerro Gordo. You know, not just because it's been 4.5 years, but I feel like the years up here are like dog years. You know, there's so much packed into every single day. You know, there's so much growth needed that if that's the case, then there's no shot of me being normal ever again, especially because I have no plans of leaving. You know, my job here is far from done, but it was something that really got me thinking, you know, about the past 4 years. You know, we've had fires, we've had floods, we've had earthquakes, we've had record heat, and I think
no footage of that fire. Somewhat weird. That
through all of that, there's no denying that this town feels alive again, which was my goal from the very beginning. But that's not to say that I'm anywhere near being done. You know, it's almost like every year that I spend here, the more I learn that needs to get done. And so without further ado, we're going to get into everything going on this past month up here at Cerro Gordo.
In front, there's no denying this guy has the ability to generate a vibe. He can tell a story that pulls on your heartstrings. It's beautifully done.
In front of me is the American Hotel here at Cerro Gordo, and unfortunately, it looks very similar to the last time that I made a video update. But soon,
Klasky, I think there could be some great guests. Like if you could have your own channel, like Jacksepticeye, Valkyrie, Ludwig, and the Vlog Brothers regular car reviews. Look, man, I wanted to. Yeah, I'm gonna throw that when we get closer to August. I guess probably around June, July. I'm gonna throw this back out to the audience and just say, who are some channels that I could connect with, that I could reach out to on the basis of, hey, could I either come on your channel or could you come on my channel? Or could we do both? Could we do one for one? Like one day we'll go on mine and one day we'll go on yours. And by the way, no topic, right? Just like the H3 show, like what we do here, just open-ended discussion about whatever we feel like. Just open it up to have a deep, and let's see where it goes about anything. So yeah, I like the suggestions. Of those channels, Jacksepticeye is the only one that I really know of. But I'm down and that's the other thing too. It would be so sweet because if let's just say for instance I managed to lock down an interview. Let's not call them interviews. Let's just call it like a guest spot. Imagine I locked one down with say the Vlog Brothers, and we said it's gonna. Today's date's the 27th of February. Let's say they said, we'll have you on the 16th of March, man, if you're down. And I'll be like, yep, I'll lock that day off, whatever the time is. Cool, 16th of March. So in the days leading up to that, on my stream, I'd be going in and looking at all their content and researching and finding all about them. And I'd do it with you guys. The research, the back end kind of like discovery phase, I'd do it all on my streams so that then when I go over to their channel or they come to mine, whatever it is, we're already aware of who they are and we can already start the conversation. That's how I want to broaden. That's how I want to fuck the algorithm. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to trip the algorithm up to say, no. Because I often, well, I used to, I haven't had it for a while, but I used to get people saying, your channel's dead, dude. Just start a new one. It's dead. You put all this effort in and you get 3 views. Your snorkel mask video has fucked everything for you. Just start again. And I'm like, I don't agree with that, because if it's just an algorithm, the algorithm can be tripped up. And even not only that, but YouTube could, change the code. It's not immutable. It's not a blockchain, right? This is just the YouTube algorithm. It can be updated and morphed. Let's just say at one point, maybe YouTube starts going, we realize that we have so many creators on our platform that have been there for over 10, let's say there's a cutoff. Let's say if your channel's 10 years and if the creation date of your channel is 10 years ago, we've written a little bit of code to randomly bring up an old channel onto the front page. That could happen. So I'm getting excited thinking about that, but it could happen. Probably won't happen.
Will look very different, and soon being tomorrow, because tomorrow the roof finally goes on.
I think it's a good idea to do research on the content. You know what? I'm going to get a screenshot, dude. Klaski, I got a screenshot of that. I've got a folder for my rebrand of my channel. That's in there now. Well, not right now, but it will be.
This thing has been a battle from day one to get started. And over the past 4 years, the rebuilding of this hotel has defined not just this town, but my life in many ways. This was before the American Hotel that was originally built in 1871, and this was the central meeting.
So for those of you who are new here, we've got an ongoing speculation that he burnt this hotel down for insurance. That's our speculation. There are reasons that we've come to that conclusion. The main one being that he documents everything, and for some reason there's just no footage of the fire, not even the smoldering of it. Just there's no footage. He's never shown any footage of this one night when the whole thing burnt to the ground, but nothing else did. He definitely did it. I'm not saying he definitely did it. I don't want to be held accountable for that, but our speculations, based upon the content that he's given us, is that he hasn't been telling the full truth. That's our speculation.
Point. This is where everybody congregated. They hung out. This is kind of the lifeblood of the town, and losing it was devastating.
He's got footage of the burnt, but none of the actual burning. Now, let's be clear. He lied about being alone there. His mantra was living alone in a ghost town. It was actually the first words that came up on the screen, alone in my ghost town. And then as the year went on and his content was delivered, we suddenly literally saw shadows of people. We saw evidence of other people being there. And sometimes he even said, and my live-in mate or live-in helper has been blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I thought you were alone. And as that happened, he changed that opening slate from alone in my ghost town to living in my ghost town. So he's never been alone there, but he's pretended, or he's delivered how do you say it without saying it? That's what he's done. He hasn't actually said it, but he's alluded to it for all this time.
And it redefined my life. And it's always on the top of the mind, but I have had to make some changes with the architectures, with the plans. We've had some permitting things going on. But at this point, the main goal right now is to get this.
I'm invested now. Well, let me tell you this, Crystal. He conveniently, before the fire erupted one night randomly, he had somehow managed to remove the only existing blueprint plans from the hotel and taken them into a safe storage area away from the hotel. Before that, they'd existed in the hotel, in part of it, in some drawer or something, but he had managed to conveniently retract those out and not have them burned down. Yo, furry dude, how you doing? Weird house. A lot of people do burn down their house for insurance money. I mean, so there's a video where he talks about how much it would cost to get this up to code. So he talked about, he had the town planners and all the crew that come in and do all the finalizing and the compliance testing and all that. And they said this is going to need like way too, like this is a big job to get this up to code. And so then, the plans got taken out and the thing just burnt down one night and there's no footage of it. I'm just saying, just draw your own conclusion. Sus, right on. Sus, fully.
A roof, to have windows and have siding all before the real cold weather hits. You can see it's a little bit cold now. We need to get this thing closed in. But right over here, past the 5-ton, you can see all of the roofing material that will be going on to the hotel.
There's no photos, no news reports, no nothing. That's just strange to me. And for a guy who documents everything about this town and documents all of the changes and everything that happens, he's never shown any footage of the fire. Never. And we've watched everything. And we all said, man, that's a bit odd, right?
Tomorrow. So here's a little bit more supply for the roof. This is the wood that's gonna go on top of the insulation. And again, as with everything, this wood is down here in Keeler, which then it needs to go way up there to Cerro Gordo. And that is where the 5-ton comes in. And in a couple of days, the roofers are gonna come. We'll have a permanent roof. All right, and
he also messes up his words.
Days, the roofers are gonna come. We'll have a permanent roof.
He said permanent, not permanent. Permanent.
And in a couple of days, the roofers are going to come. We'll have a permanent roof. All right, and as you can see,
those little slip-ups where he does that quite a lot. That's an endearing trait. Burning down the hotel and allegedly burning the hotel down and pretending he didn't. That's not an endearing trait. That's lying. Allegedly.
The beginning of the roofing is down in Keeler. Now this all has to go up there. So all of this tomorrow will get brought up and used to finally put a roof on that thing. Shortly thereafter, the windows are ordered and the windows are going to go in, and then it's time for the siding. And as you can see, I have been looking at different colors of siding, different ways to do this. But for right now, this stuff goes on there tomorrow. And in order to do that, we need a telehandler, a big forklift, and that is 7 miles down that dirt road at the edge of that dry lake bed. So we're heading down there. We're gonna grab the telehandler, come back up here, and you're gonna see this roof go on in real time. And here it is, the key to putting on our roof. And not only do all the supplies have to go up that 7 miles.
Mammoth task. Anytime he's got to go down and pick up something, he's got to go all that way. Klasky, what was he trying to do? Was he trying to make the house totally off grid, totally not dependent? No. So I guess I should have mentioned this at the beginning. So what he's done is he's bought an existing abandoned ghost town. The town used to be a mining town. And so he bought it as is. He bought it as it looks. And his plan has always been to rejuvenate it and give it another life and allow it to be a tourist destination. So you can go up there and explore the mines and learn the history and stay overnight. Where the American Hotel comes into it is that did have accommodations in it. And the idea was that you could go and have dinner and stay up there and then stay in the hotel. But like I said, he had the town planners come in and they all sort of gave him the hard word that there's a lot of jobs that have got to be done here to get this up to code, like things like ramps and accessibilities, all that stuff, that fire code and everything. And he said it was just a massive thing to do. And then very, very soon after, it mysteriously burned down. So just drawing off what we watched, we came to a conclusion which is not based on fact, but it's just based upon what we learned from the channel. We could be way off though. We could be completely wrong.
Now dirt road to town, all of the equipment to use the supplies to build the hotel also have to get up there. So this is gonna be a creep up the road, we go all the way up there. But that way tomorrow when the roofers come, the telehandler's there, the materials are there, it's time to finally get a roof.
The other thing too is that the content is so beautiful and it's presented so well that we can forego or we can overlook a little storytelling to keep the thing rolling, because it like I've said plenty of times in the past, this guy has found, let me pop off for a second, this guy has found a niche on YouTube that I don't think anybody else has ever done. He has used the content to garner interest in something that doesn't exist, that in the future will exist, and that will make him money. So what he's basically using his channel as a marketing tool by drawing you in and getting you vested into the content. As soon as it comes down to, and you can now come up here and stay for the weekend we're only a short drive from Las Vegas through Death Valley, and you can get here from California, from LA as well, and with a bus and blah blah. Then you'll be like, oh, let's go, because you're so vested in seeing it go from an old abandoned mining town to a tourist destination. Of course you're going to go. You're smart, Clay, Crystal. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like we salute him for that. Like, I don't see anybody else doing anything quite like this on YouTube, literally using it as a free marketing tool. And by the way, getting like all the sort of hard work and the labor. He's had volunteers come up from the channel. So he needed to do things like, you know, put a mine shaft back, fix the hoist, and have someone monitor this, blah, blah, blah. And people would volunteer. And he'd say, oh, I've got volunteers coming up for the weekend. And, you know, he needed to do, well, to start the base foundations of this American hotel, he required like a pretty big earth-moving equipment. And there's a channel called Heavy D Sparks that somehow got themselves involved. And all of a sudden, there's got this collab from another huge kind of like a four-wheel drive outdoorsy channel. I don't know how you describe them, but anyway, they got invested in, and you never know whether it's they paid or he's paying them, or it's just like we'll just do YouTube for YouTube kind of thing. But the thing is, it's on YouTube, and it's all of it is just getting viewed, and all of it is drawing an income source for him. It's quite remarkable. It's totally within the rules. Like I'm not saying he's doing anything wrong. I'm saying he's doing it. He's the first person I've seen do it, and do it so well. And so that's why we watch, because it's intriguing, it's ingenious, and it's done so well. And he can, by the end of this video today, if I can stop waffling on, you'll want to go over and watch all of his content, because he's so compelling the way he does it. It's kind of like those van life YouTubers like Ryan Toomey. He does a lot of YouTube content out of his van, lives in his van while traveling around the US. I think you should check him out. Ryan Tui. Let me get a script. Dude, there's the first month of my channel rebrand. Interviews. I've got 2 screenshots now. Thank you, man. Where are we?
All right, what are we up to?
Okay, well, so today we're starting the roof on the American Hotel. Installation of the 2.0 insulation, then the plywood. Hopefully after that we'll get some underlayment going.
See, when you see this, you see him asking a tradesman about what they're doing. Like, you feel like, are they paid tradesmen, or are they volunteering their time here? Do you know what I mean? Like, what? Like, if you had a guy come to do roofing on your house, would you ask him to be involved in a YouTube video? It doesn't kind of add up, right? Dogton, Albie Mangles had the best content. He did.
Protect us from the rain, and then hopefully by Monday or so we'll have all this with a nice metal roof on it.
Crystal Rose, he's doing what the Real Housewives do with their restaurants and clothing stores. They build them on the show, and the fans go and buy, so they make money. It's actually clever marketing. Okay. I've not watched that show, but I've heard the H3 guys talk about it a lot.
Awesome. All right. Excited.
All right, the roof is progressing. You can see that the exterior insulation has been put down, more sheeting has been put on top of that, then the under laminate that's going to keep it really waterproof and weatherproof, and I am stoked. You know, I just can't wait to have this thing open. Having this open is going to fundamentally change the experience of this entire town. It's going to change the experience of my life, and it's going to be a new chapter in it.
Having it open, see? It's all been building up to the grand opening day.
It's almost hard to imagine what that's going to be like, but I am very, very excited for it. Imagine the views in here when the day comes. It's going to be pretty good. All right, as you can see, the metal.
Better hope it's beautiful scenery. It really is, Crystal. It's beautiful. I was going to say no open flames in that building, right? No candles.
Is almost done. After this, they're going to do some flashing, some connective stuff, and the roof will be sealed. It is going to be insulated, sealed, and weather tight for this winter. And then I can't wait to have the windows in.
Over on Kick, I assume Death Valley would be a good place for solar panels. I was going to say, are they Tesla? Is that Tesla roofing? They look like solar panels, right? Kind of does.
The siding on it's going to look like a real building, but even after all that, there's still a lot to do. You know, eventually all of that concrete block that you see will be underground. That's the basement. So the grade of this entire ground is going to go up quite a bit because a lot of this got pushed out when we cleared out the old hotel. For now, it's a beautiful day. Roof is almost done, and that's an exciting news.
That's a lot of landfill to put back in.
All right, so where are we at?
All right, so it's Tuesday, and we finished the roof.
You guys,
damn, that is a sexy roof. I'm not into roofs at all, but that's a fine looking roof. Isn't that beautiful? Why does that look so rad? That's just a nice looking roof.
Hopefully it'll stand for a long time.
We're all happy to be here, you know. It was a little creepy to stay in the bun house, but it was fun.
You guys did an awesome job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cool.
See, that kind of sounds like they just did that for volunteered. You can't have a roofing guy come and just work for 2 days for not paying. It's not Take 5 magazine, right?
There it is, the American Hotel with a roof all the way around. That is a very beautiful sight. That is something I've been looking forward to for a very, very long time. It is historic, really. I think for the future of the town, that roof will be there for a very long time. Hopefully far beyond my days, which is crazy to think about. But we still have a lot of work to do. Need to get these windows in, need to get wrapped, insulated, sided before the winter really
Some
hits.
will do it for the plug. Do you reckon with a team of like whatever, there was like 5 or 6 people on that roof? Do you reckon that's what I'm saying. Like it presents as if those dudes were just there because they wanted to be. It doesn't present like that's a tradesman doing a day's work. You know what I mean? Like he leaves it, he edges us in and leaves us unsure. And that proves, or that shows his skill level. He's crafty like that.
It's a really, really big thing now. So we're going to be pressing really hard over these next few months. Look out for a lot of updates related to that. But you got to celebrate the wins when you get them. And that roof is a big win. And I'm very excited about it. And it wasn't the only big win over the past month. We also had a big win when it came to the most important thing out here in the desert. And that is water.
If this is a big channel, then yeah, I assume the company just pays for the labor. I think he's over a mil now, over a mil subs. Yeah, 1.7 mil. So he's nearing in on 2 million subs. This has got 1.3 million views 4 months ago. Fuck, dude. So sick. And what he's about to talk about now, the water in the town, this has always been an issue. He's had so much trouble getting flowing water from the down in the 700 level of the mines. There's a water basin, and he's had difficulty getting that water up and into the town. It's been an ongoing issue that he doesn't really have a solution for. I've always thought, why can't he trap snow melt from the top of the mountain? Now, it doesn't always have snow, but you could put that, like when it's snowing, you could have that snow melt running down into a central area, surely. You could fill up those reservoirs in the winter is what I'm thinking. But I don't know. More to it than that. More views. Yeah. Loads of views.
The biggest challenge of living in the desert and living here at Cerro Gordo is water, or the lack thereof. And obviously I knew there was no running water up here at Cerro Gordo before I moved up here over 4 years ago. But I think there's a difference between understanding conceptually that you won't have water from living day in and day out for years without running water. I'm talking about the jugs to wash your hands, the bags that you heat up in the sun to take a shower, just the difficulty of cleaning anything without water. And things have gotten better since then. Now I have a working shower, I have a working sink, things are kind of under control. You know, thanks to Dave Sparks, I have a military 5-ton truck that can bring water up here about 1,000 gallons at a time. But it's still...
That was a donation, that military truck from Heavy D Sparks.
Seems kind of like a temporary thing. And one thing that has been lingering for years now is the water that is located 700 feet below where I am sitting. That is down in the Union Mine at the 700-foot level. Water seeps in through some cracks from somewhere. And 100 years ago, they kind of diverted this water into a sump. They pumped it up here, and they were able to have water for their camp. And this battle of getting the water from 700 feet below me has been ongoing over the past 4 years. You know, I have been down and up this shaft so many times. I've done so many things, from replacing the pump, replacing 700 feet of piping, just doing anything that I can to try to get this water up here, that I've actually gone tired of it. You know, I stopped including it in videos because it seemed like beating the dead horse to talk about the water down at the 700 over and over and over again. But I'm talking about in this video, so that means something must change. And the thing that changed is we finally developed a plan, a smart...
Hey, Dugsky, how you doing, man? Good to see you, buddy.
...plan that used the existing infrastructure here to potentially get the 700-foot water working on a permanent basis, which would just transform this town pretty much immediately. All right, today we continue what has been a years-long battle taking place in that building behind me. That is getting water. Today we have a new plan. So we're gonna go down, I think the best plan we've had yet. So we'll go
So he's using the existing infrastructure, but somehow it's working. So he's got a stronger pump. I'd say he's got a stronger pump.
over the plan. Hopefully we get some water. Craig, it's going on 4 years. How do you feel?
Another day. Let's do it.
Dave, so what's the plan? You're the one that engineered all this. What have we got?
Yep, so what we're doing, we're installing a sump pump or a priming pump in the pool. What it's going to do is pump water over to the Neptune pump, the main pump, to the suction side of it. There's a tether switch that'll be controlling the sump pump. When that tether switch goes high, water level's high, it'll kick on the sump pump water over to the Neptune pump. Then there's a pressure switch that will be there. And once there's pressure on the suction side from the sump pump, Neptune pump will turn on, water comes to the surface. When the water level goes low, everything turns off. So it should run automatically.
That's awesome.
Wait, so how was that different from before? Before it was just turn the pump on when you needed it. Now it just turns on automatically and it comes from a different reservoir. Okay, interesting.
Well, let's get it.
Theoretically, this is the one.
Interesting.
Good shot.
So it's hands-free now, like hands-off.
Yeah, we hear you loud and clear.
Two pumps, one that primes it and one that pumps it. So the priming pump means that they've got a second area of water. That's interesting.
Back at the 700. All right, so here's a pump.
Okay. But the thing is, you still need power to both of the pumps, so you still need to have a permanent power source down there.
Yep, let's see if we got some water. Yeah, we got some water from here to town then, right?
Yeah, it's on right now. So.
But we're not at 300, so there's probably not a whole lot of water in the column.
No.
I was thinking tying in here, but that's definitely not half. That's like 3/4.
Yeah, but we're bringing 3/4 in, right?
Yeah.
So if you have a 3/4 pack, so you just screw it right in.
But I'm going to be replacing this with the suction manifold.
Okay.
All right, this is a pump. We go over to the water source.
You get down here and there'll be no water in the pool.
I hope not. Then we got bigger problems. Yeah. This is a little up and over that I think.
Okay.
And here it is.
Here's the pool. Yeah, she's
full.
She's full, and we got water coming in.
So this is the water source, and we have a theory that maybe we're pumping this dry, or maybe we're losing prime here in this pipe. So what we're going to hope to do is put on this float, so that way if it gets below a certain level, it turns off, gets back to a certain level, turns back on, turns off, turns on, and that way we can continuously just pull all this water that you see dripping in up to town, because this water is like gold.
Effectively, the sump pump will sit right here to kind of keep it up out of any sediment on the bottom of the pool. And then also the tether switch will hook up on here at a specific height and length on the tether. And then we have our inch markers so we can quickly tell what the depth of the pool is.
So I still don't get why do they need to have that automated? there's water in the pump in the pool. They need to get that water out of there to the main pump, but that needs to be automated. Okay. So if they take too much water out of that pool and the water drops too low, the pump will stop. So you won't have permanent water coming into town. There'll be times when you go to use it and it won't be on. Right? Unless it fills up faster than it drains.
Yeah, we're about 40 inches. But this is about where the level is normally?
Yeah, that's where it gets to.
Okay. I want to keep the water level about 10 inches low at the lowest, so I can keep the pump submerged, keep it cool when it's running. If you want the water level higher to start pumping, then it's going to take longer to refill. So your off times are going to be longer, and it's a whole balancing act.
Yep.
So you'll never know when it's available and when it's not. You'll just have to turn it on and hope. Okay.
We're going. All right. That's in.
Send the water to the surface.
Yep. Right, it's coming up.
There we go. Now it's coming through.
Yep. So it's just purging air through.
It takes a while for this thing to fill up, but I'm wondering if we need to stay back and see when this thing is at 300.
What this does.
How much fluctuation you're going to have.
Do you want it pulsating like that? Or that's what it's going to do? Okay.
I think we're looking okay right now. As always, you plan, design, test, build, do all the things.
Do it
you
again.
have all the confidence in the world, and you install it, you put it in the actual place and environment, and actual pump, and you see different things.
Yeah.
So I think there are a couple things I'd like to change and improve. But right now we're running the pump at 50%. The priming pump is working well. We can turn off the priming pump.
It's crazy because you look at the drip, it didn't feel like there was that much water moving over there.
Wait. Talk to me like I'm dumb, which I am when it comes to this shit. The priming pump doesn't require power only when it's got to be reprimed. Is it gravity fed at that point? Is this area higher than the other pump? Did he just said he's going to turn the power off here?
It's flowing.
Maybe with an automatic generator. An automatic generator that keeps power to it then, so it's permanently powered up?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Drip.
Yeah.
There we go. I fixed everything. Come on, Reed.
Good. Job done. All right, just like that, the water should be flowing to the surface now. Now it's time to head on up and make sure of it. Yep, and then we'll tell them that we want to go.
Weird.
Up.
2 feet, 1 foot, and stop.
There. Well, from where you saw it to there. We're gonna see how long it takes to do a gallon.
Well, they arrived.
All right, so we about 11 minutes for this gallon, so we know.
So at that point, if it's that slow pressure, they'd want to permanently take the water up and put it in a storage. They'd want to put it in storage that's like, if they're going up, they might as well go up even higher to the top of the town and then store it and then use it as gravity fed all the way downtown. Because at that pressure, you can't rely on that. That's just to get it up from the mine, and then you might as well just keep it going up and then store it in a bigger vessel.
Wow, it has been
11 minutes ago. It's so slow that you wouldn't be able to really use it for anything, right? Unless you were putting it somewhere and then pumping it again.
4 weeks and the water is still running down in the mine. We have pulled over 4,000 gallons of water out of that hole, and that is huge. It's historic, really. 4,000 gallons is 4 trips in this military truck that we didn't have to take.
Cool.
So it's very, very exciting, but we're not done. Today we are going back down.
So wait, he didn't tell us where he's putting it though. They must be storing it again somewhere, right?
The mine to see if we can get a little bit of more water out. We're gonna see where the sump's at so we can do a little better calculations. Craig's here and we are still running 4 weeks later.
So what I said earlier about can't they get the snow melt, I'm assuming the way that this thing fills up naturally, that 700 level of the mine is kind of like a natural watercourse from snowmelt. So this could be, if this works, this is the ultimate solution.
So today's going to be a good day. What do you think, Greg?
I think this is awesome.
Because also, sorry to keep stopping, but every time I think of something, they've got to treat that water, right? Like that water coming up straight from the mines, you can't drink that. That's got to be treated. So there's got to be somewhere else that they store it and treat it, and then maybe even separate it. Like maybe they could store two versions. Like one could be used for gardening, untreated water. The other could be used for showers and drinking and whatnot.
This is the longest the water's ever in.
He should show the storage
See
tanks.
how low the water level is in the
He must have storage
reservoir
tanks.
there. So.
All right. Let's do it.
So today we're 28 days after we installed the pump control system. Pump has been running this whole time, full 28 days, 6 gallons an hour. We passed 4,000 gallons of water coming up out of the mine this morning. So today we're going down to do some upgrades to kind of make the longevity of the components a little bit better, make it to where we can run the Neptune pump at a higher rate. We can pump more water out if we so choose. But probably the most exciting thing we're going down to do is see the level of the pool.
Yeah.
We pulled 4,000 gallons out. We were all excited to see what that pool looks like.
Won't it be rad if that pool is still at the same level so that's a permanent water supply? That would be so sick.
What do you think, Greg? It's been 4 years.
It's been a long time, and I'm really happy this is done. Obviously, my little ghost gremlin isn't messing with us anymore, so I think we found the solution.
Sounds good. Perfect. All right, and now to have the moment we've all been waiting for, to see how much water is left in this sump down here. We've pulled 4,000 gallons out, so we'll see. If it's still high, it means that it's refilling at a rate of, what we've been pulling out. But only time will... Whoa, yeah.
We're at what, 21 inches right now?
So probably what, like halfway down?
Yeah, because we started out at 40 inches.
Okay.
So we're down 18 inches.
Okay.
With what we thought
Right.
the refill rate was and the size of the pool, we should have shut down at 10 inches on the 16th. We still have 10 inches to go before we would shut off.
It's interesting because you can now more clearly see the drip-in rate. It's pretty good.
It's a hefty rate.
Yeah. It's weird because when we go over there, I don't see that amount coming from anywhere, So is there a way then, based upon that, to figure out...
I can get some roundabouts.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Roundabout refill rates?
Yep, exactly.
So that drip refill, is that coming from a pipe that's above, or is that just from the rocks? I thought it was just coming natural seepage.
There'll still be estimated calculations, but
right,
they'll be a little bit more informed.
Yep. So you can see there, guys, that's the water that's leaking out. That's still pretty hefty.
I don't get where that comes from. Why is there a hose coming out of the ground? Is anybody else confused about that? That's the inlet. So that's the water that's coming in to fill that pond up, and it's coming from the hillside. I'm even more confused now, Crystal. Me too. I'm glad I'm not the only one. I'm trying to work this out, but I don't get why that's all hosed up like that.
Yeah, we have a hell of a lot more refill than we thought.
So that means it's refilled almost twice in the last month.
Probably. If the rough measurements are 2,000 gallons and we pulled 4.
Yeah. So this is awesome. That trickle of water has me so excited, and us going through such lengths to get it is probably showing of me living in the desert for the past 4 years. But this is historic. This is
and they're 700 feet below the surface. So that if it is coming from there, seeping through the land, that's very well filtered water. I just don't get how it comes out from a pipe like that. I don't. Where does that pipe go to?
Very exciting to at least have this water source. Just to be clear, this water is never water to be used for any potable reasons. This is great for flushing toilets. It's good for some cleaning, maybe filling up our 40,000 gallon sprinkler tank. But for the hotel and really for the
longevity of the town, we need a more permanent water source. And that
He struggles with that word, permanent. He keeps doing it backwards, permanent.
longevity of the town, we need a more permanent water source.
Permanent.
But for the hotel and really for the longevity of the town, we need a more permanent water source. And that would probably be a well. I think that the big issue with a well is that I've had...
Wait, what did he just say? You can't use that water for any potable reasons. You need a well. But the well's going to draw water from the same spot.
Hydrogeologists come up and they've told me that we're going to have to drill at least 1,000 feet down to potentially hit something. And 1,000 feet well is...
Now I can't unhear it. He's... Crystal, he's got so many unusual pronunciations of words.
Very expensive, and there's no guarantee. You could drill down and hit nothing. And so it's a huge gamble, but it's a gamble in kind of the town's future, which makes sense, because this town was kind of built on a gamble and has been grown by gambles over and over again. So why would I think that I would be any different? But the future of the town is really in a permanent water source like a well.
Did he say it right?
This water is very...
Did he say it right then?
Future of the town is really in a permanent water source like a well.
He said it backwards, permanent.
But I think that I would be any different. But the future of the town is really in a permanent water source like a well. But this water is very, very exciting because it's sustainable. It gives something to work with in the meantime. And so as I look to the future, it's a well, but I'm not trying to get too wrapped up in that. I'm trying to enjoy the fact that, we have this water and it seems to be refilling at a rate more than we thought. So that is very, very exciting.
Yeah, see, that's a great view of the town. So up here, this is where my mouse is. That's where that well is, or the shaft, the mine shaft, where they're getting the water from. So if they've brought the water up to there, everything that the town needs is below there in terms of topography. So they could just dig out a little ledge up here, like make it bigger again. They could dig out a ledge up here somewhere and just like put a storage water tank, like a big fuck off 400,000 litre thing or whatever, and keep that water going up. It's only got to go up a little bit further. It's already done 700 feet. I'm sure you can take another 10 feet vertical. Pump all that water into that thing, have that treated, so have that as a like an actual water treatment facility, and then you got fresh drinking water for the whole town, for everything. That's how I'd do it. But I don't own a ghost town. That'd be more permanent.
And over the past 4.5 years, there have been things about my daily routine that have stayed the same, and there are things that have changed. And in the changed camp, I would say as far as things that have made the biggest impact on how I feel day in and day out, I would say that this is pretty close to the highest.
Seamless ad roll. Tooth boy. You got me watching an ad before I even knew I was watching an ad. How about that?
Drinkelement.com/Brent. That's
Seamless.com/Brent. See how sneaky he is? He just got us watching an ad before we even knew we were watching it.
It's been a huge game changer for me, and I hope you check it out.
All right. You got us. Mission accomplished.
One of my favorite things about being up here at Cerro Gordo over the past few years is just getting to know some of the people in this area that take me on adventures that I would have never in my life imagined I would be able to go on. These adventures always give me a better understanding of this town, this area, and sometimes the creatures that are within it. Like a couple months ago when Dr. Mike Morrison came up here to Cerro Gordo, and we went down into the main canyon mine searching for bats that Mike had tagged. Mike has the largest bat study anywhere in this area, and he has just been tracking and following these bats for over 10 years. And it's beautiful for me because I never even gave bats a second thought more than just avoiding them when I'm down here in the mines trying to crawl around looking for things.
I love bats.
Mike and I went down in the mine. We were able to find a few dozen tagged bats. And that just gave me a better appreciation for everything that I had misconstrued about this animal. But that was only half of the process. In order to scan tagged bats, you have to first tag them. So this month, Mike invited me out to an abandoned mine where we were going to search for juvenile bats to
Cool.
tag, so then Mike could track them over many years, learn more about the migratory patterns, and just learn more about this super important creature in our daily lives.
My name's Mike Morrison.
Wait, why are bats super important to us?
Ecologist. I've spent most of my career at universities, UC Berkeley, and then most recently retired from Texas A&M. Got into bats about 30 years ago because I found them really fascinating, and not many people knew a lot about them. We're going to be hopefully netting some bats in young of the year. The idea is to try nets and pit tag them. That's what people know as a microchip, except these are what they put in your dogs and cats. These are really small, about 8 millimeters long, that we inject. You want to have the 0 year, knowing when they were born. Once these bats are a year old, you can't tell how old they are. So you don't know if you have a 2-year-old bat or a 15-year-old bat. In the winter,
They keep the pest population down. Oh, so like eating insects and stuff. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, okay, that's clear. They eat insects. Yeah,
bats go elevationally up above 7,000, 8,000, 9,000 feet where it's cold, and they hibernate for the winter. And then what we do is we go in there and we can scan them without disturbing them to find out if they're there, if they're alive, the distance between the maternity and the hibernacula. And then in the summer when they come back, we have a bigger antenna we put in the mine or cave portal. That helps inform science, research as for their longevity and survivorship. And then for the management agencies, we're mostly on, some of it's private, but most of it's Bureau of Land Management or U.S. Forest Service. We can inform them on which specific mines or caves to protect with a certain gating they put on that the bats can get in, but the public can't, so they're not disturbed. They do that in the winter and the summer. We can't track them per se, we just have to go find them.
That's pretty cool. They do that here in Australia in the waters with the great white sharks. You know, they track the great whites.
Bat hanging right there. That's one good sign. Oh. Oh, they're scattered. I need the other net.
Wow, there's a lot.
Yeah. Oh, we got good. We're good.
Whoa, that's so good.
Hold that right like
One's
that.
on the ground.
Gently.
Yep.
Oh, that's probably going to be the end of it. But why don't you take this one?
Okay.
They wouldn't. Those bats wouldn't like that. You know, all of a sudden light. It's not daytime. We're not supposed to be awake here.
Yeah, I'll just carry this one just in case. I got it. This is of catching it without letting another one go.
Oh, right.
No, that's exactly when we got a lot of young in here. This is how it's supposed to go. Okay?
That's great.
So.
This is interesting.
Biomark makes their fortune in fisheries. These are single application tag in a sterilized needle, and then they come with these tags, which is nice that I can put in a book. Wife came up with this cutting board.
Okay.
We have a reader for the adults to see if they're already tagged. These guys can't break your skin. Their teeth are too small, but you can still get rabies because if the saliva transferred to a cut or you wiped your eye or something. However, a rabid bat is not going to be in here acting like a normal bat. They're going to be flying around, not with the group. Rabies in this species is, whatever reason, really low. I want to take a picture.
Does it help if you blow in the thing?
That's an adult, so I'll see if it's already tagged. It is.
Wow.
I'm not sure it's the right number because I got the thing in my hand. And you can see on the female, trying to see if you can see her mammaries. She's been nursing, and they wear away the fur.
Whoa.
So, and she's a female because there's no baculum, no penis bone. I'll show you a male that has them. So that's a Townsend's baby.
Shame that's out of focus.
So the number is.
It's a shame that's out of focus because there was a little insect running around its face. What was that? A little fly or something?
4559. Whoa! You can tell it's a juvenile because it's gray, where the adults are brown, and also the size.
Come on, Tooth Boy. The one time that you got to be in focus and can't see this shit.
Full size, pretty much full size when they go into hibernation. The young of the year we know mostly all follow their mother to the hibernacula. This is a male, juvenile male. All right. Make sure your assistant does that right, okay?
Yes. There you go. Now you look like you're really helping.
Yep. I like to get them tagged first to make sure what they are. I can usually tell sometimes the old or young. Yeah, okay, that's tagged. It's an adult. It's lots of 94 pounds.
What's the final count?
25 bats.
How many juveniles are?
There was 11 adults, 11 adult bats and 14 juveniles.
Like, how does that stack up?
He sounds like an Australian.
Usually I don't get quite as many adults compared to the juveniles, but some of them didn't fly, so.
So now a new batch of bats are tagged and we wait. And who knows, maybe some of those bats are gonna flap their way over here to Cerro Gordo. We're gonna scan them in a couple of years here in the Union Mine, which would be really cool. And I just think about bats so much more than I did before going on any of these adventures with Mike, which I appreciate. You know, it just colors in a little bit more of the picture of Cerro Gordo. You know, it makes me appreciate them in a way that before I never did. And that just makes, I think, the entire experience here that much more rich. And so I appreciate Mike taking me on these adventures. You know, I really appreciate everybody in this whole area that's kind of taken me under their wing over the past couple of years. And I can't wait to see what, you know, the next few years hold. Except for they also decimated my garden, ate almost everything in there. So it's learning. You know, it's a balancing act up here in the desert. If you want water, you have to take with some other things. But generally, I think having this is awesome. I think long term, it's gonna bring some really fun things. So just as a kind of a fun, quick update, the pond is in existence and it's looking good. Wow, fancy, looking good.
Dude, that time lapse from the drone, that's obviously shot with a drone, but it's a time lapse, but that's kind of pretty damn stable.
Good.
Yeah, that's held quite steady.
Fancy, looking good. Yeah, how you feel? Feel good? Good. And other than the birds, here are the real companions in the town, my buddies over the past 4 years. This is Beretta, the goats. We got Tofu there in the back, Elon over here, some newcomers in the mix too. These guys are great. You know, originally when I got the animals, I thought, oh, these would be great companions, you know, but I think more than that, they're kind of a meditative device, you know, because Beretta, or Tofu here, doesn't care what's going on. She needs to get fed now. So it kind of breaks you out of whatever loop you're under. And so having these guys here has been a real joy over the past few years. And I hope to have goats and animals here all the time. Just again, for that reminder that, hey, you know, your problems don't matter to these goats. They need to get fed. But animals up here,
they're nice animals, aren't they, goats?
They're doing good. Thought I'd do a quick check-in, show everybody off. Oh, fancy. I love hanging out with these guys. Wow.
They always look dumb, goats, just in their eyes. They're probably very smart though.
The other thing I have been up to is tinkering. Tinkering so much that I even had to get a new shop that you see around me, even with a fancy sign up above me from an old movie set. But I'm mainly tinkering on trying to take the minerals of Cerro Gordo down to the metallic state. You know, for the longest time, I would say the largest silver mine in California without ever having refined galena down to silver. And recently I got into the other minerals. You know, I did a whole video about taking this, which is smithsonite, all the way down into zinc. Zinc was responsible for 20 or 30 years of history up here. You know, and understanding it thoroughly just makes me feel a lot more connected to the mineral. And what I've been focusing on is this, which is malachite, which is a copper ore. And copper was kind of a...
Malachite sounds like a slang word that you might use if you were Greek.
Minor afterthought when it came to the Cerro Gordo mines. But in 1 year, they report 200 tons of copper coming out of the hole right over there. So obviously copper was pretty important. And copper, I have found, a little bit luckier than zinc when it comes to refining, because copper, I think, is the oldest metal that humans ever interacted with. And so basically all I've been doing is crushing up the malachite, crushing up some charcoal, combining them, and then eventually at the end you have these little beads of copper left at the bottom, which is really cool. You know, I've been experimenting with which source of malachite around the property provides the most copper, and it's cool because now I know how to refine the smithsonite at Cerro Gordo down to zinc. I know how to refine the malachite down to copper, and with copper and zinc you can make brass. That is right. And so I've been experimenting with different brass situations up here. All right, so once you get your copper, the little beads out of the malachite, and you have the zinc, we can go from there and put in the copper. And we're gonna wait on the zinc, we're gonna melt this, add the zinc when this is heated up a little bit, and hopefully end up with some brass. So first step, put it in here, heat it up, and we wait. All right, now that the brass is nice and hot, we're gonna throw the zinc in there, like so. Try to not have oxygen go in. I'm gonna let that heat up for a little bit. We're gonna see what happens. And after all of that, we have a little bit of Cerro Gordo brass. That is awesome. This might be the first time that anybody's made specifically Cerro Gordo brass. I think this is gonna unlock all sorts of fun new projects. Might be the closest I get to finding gold up here.
Is he gonna make a statue of himself?
But that is some brass made from the copper and zinc of Cerro Gordo. I've been working on one video for well over a month now, doing something very fun with brass. If you have any idea what that would be, leave a comment below. But I think that just through all
100% it's gonna be a statue.
I just have a better appreciation for the town and just a better understanding of it too. You know, the town, these buildings that I'm in wouldn't exist without galena or without smithsonite. And so fully understanding them and understanding how much work it takes to get the minerals out of it, it's been really rewarding. So look out over the next coming months for some more mineral videos, especially one related to brass that I'm very, very excited about, but I haven't finished yet. But I think it's needed. You know, you need a mineral shop if you're gonna own an old abandoned mining town. And so this month, kind of remedy that, and I've been really enjoying being up here. A fun update that I am finally ready to share after almost a year of development is wrapped up in this box. This box has a year of work. It has the help from hundreds of people all over the globe. This is the history of Cerro Gordo. This is my experiences living up here over the past 4 years, all in a very, very fun way, which is a Cerro Gordo board game. This is something that we've been working on for almost a year now, and it is awesome. It's kind of this game where you're competitively co-building a mining town, Cerro Gordo, back in the West. It's got all the big characters from Cerro Gordo's past. You got Mortimer Belshaw, Remy Nadeau, John Simpson, Lola Travis, Victor Beaudry. You know, each of the characters has their own power. They have their own incentives. There's all these different events that are based on historical incidents.
Later, Rob. Take care, dude. See you soon.
Different natural
Thanks again for the donation, man.
Occurrences, all sorts of different things that basically ensure that every single time you play this thing, it's going to be a different game. And it is really, really fun to finally see this in real life. This is something that's been dreamed of for a very long time now. And, you know, we're not quite there yet. This thing is launching in a week or so, but we have a website set up. It's just ghosttownlivinggames.com, and there you can be an early supporter. I have some really cool things like these pins that are only available to early supporters. It's only $2 to kind of pledge your support to the game when it comes out, and it just means a lot. You know, I really appreciate the support over the past 4 years.
Didn't see that coming.
I'm really excited.
A board game. That's an interesting one.
About kind of this new way to interact with the history here. Again, just go to ghosttownlivinggames.com. You can be an early supporter there, learn a lot more about it. But I'm excited about this one. I hope you guys check it out.
God, look at that scenery, dude. Wow. Crystal Rose, good night, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. I've got to go to sleep now. I've got to wake up early tomorrow. It's a good time. Came from H3, stayed for good vibes to catch. Hey, thank you so much, Crystal. Thank you. And have a pleasant sleep. Yeah, I'm glad you stuck around. And yeah, welcome. You're welcome here always. Obviously, thank you, man. Family.
Cerro Gordo has become more than just a project. It's a mirror of my own growth, my dreams, and even my sense of purpose. That connection that I feel to this place is deeper than I ever thought was possible. It's almost like the town and I are intertwined, and when the town feels stagnant...
He always leaves his videos with this tear-jerking, the town and I are synonymous with life and our pure existence. If I didn't exist, the town wouldn't exist, and the town wouldn't exist if I didn't exist. And it's yin and he always does this. And he puts the music and the overall shots, and
so do I.
He's good.
But when there's progress, when things are moving forward, life just surges through me, because there's nothing quite like that sound of progress, you know, saws.
When the town is moving forward, life just surges through me. There's nothing quite like the sound of progress. It's almost too good, right? It's like AI or something.
Cutting through old wood, the beeping of heavy machinery, and those sounds filled the air this month, and they made it probably the best month of the year. You know, and having the roof goes up gives me hope. Hope that we'll finally enclose this thing this year. And maybe, just maybe, it'll be finished and opened in 2025. And that hope, that progress, it reignited me. It reminded me why I keep pushing. Not just for myself, but for the hundreds of people who have helped along the way. For the families who once worked at these mines. I feel like I'm carrying...
The hundreds of people that have helped along the way while I've been alone in my ghost town.
The weight of their history on my shoulders. And you know what? That's a weight I'll carry proudly. It's something that I searched for a long time before Cerro Gordo. This place brings out the best of me. It forces me to adapt, to grow, year after year. It's not always easy, but it's fulfilling in ways that I never could have imagined. And I said at the beginning of this video that I barely remember who I was before I came here. And I'm okay with that.
Hey, Pugzilla, thanks for subbing over on YouTube. Pugzilla.
Because now I'm better. I'm more grounded, more alive. And every month here brings me closer to understanding Cerro Gordo and understanding myself. There's going to be more ups and downs ahead, no doubt about it, but I'm here for it. I'm ready for it.
Hey, bro, I wanted to pop in and say, what's up, family? Thank you, man. Thank you so much, dude. Swinging in from the H3. Thank you, dude.
Whenever it comes. And I can't thank all of you enough for sticking with me on this journey. It means the world.
You are catching us just as we... Toothboy is just leading us out there. Cue the sunset. That's a beautiful shot. Yeah, so you are catching us at the end of the stream here, but we have had an interesting one. I did talk a lot about the H3 stuff, and we live reacted to the H3 stream, which included myself. So if you want to go back in time and catch all that, it's all there for you on the rerun here, or will be. But you are catching us at the very end of this stream. But I appreciate you slinging by, man. And anyone from H3 is always welcome here, of course. But yeah, we've had a good time, and I feel like at this
Hey
particular
guys, I hate to interrupt you, Nick. Hello there. But anywho, I'm gonna go to bed, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.